balance, lots of options expirations. We'll talk all about it coming up in the next couple of hours. But as of right now, maybe the calm before the storm. It's been a bit of a choppy day, back and forth. We tested higher. We come all the way down, test very much lower. Now we're right back in the middle of the range. So I'll show you the S&P here, how it's shaping up as we head into the final couple of hours. Energy stocks jumping off the page here as very, very negative. Crude was down 7% at one point on some comments out of Russia suggesting that not only are they going to increase their output this year, but going forward into 23 as well. More oil coming out of Russia. So DVN, 9% right now for Devon to the downside. They're all here. FANG, Apache, COP, MRO, PXD, EOG, CVX down 6% right now. So big move for crude oil. I'll show you the futures here coming up here in a little bit as well. Tech stocks really strong right across the board. Consumer discretionary as well, really strong across the board. We've seen healthcare and financials kind of bouncing back and forth as you just saw there, trying to lead the way as well. But it's turning more and more green by the minute almost as we head back towards the highs. Utility stocks under a little bit of pressure. Same story for some of the material stocks. I saw Nucor there earlier, but looks like it's faded off a little bit. CF to the downside, FCX to the downside, ALB still 4.2 to the upside. So a nice afternoon shaping up here as we head into the weekend. Unfortunately, if you joined us in the pre-market, as I mentioned, still going to be a negative week for U.S. stocks once again. All three, the Dow, the S&P, the NASDAQ to the downside. NASDAQ and S&P more than 6% when the day started in negative territory. The Dow was about 4 and change percent on the week in negative territory. So not going to get there, unfortunately, it would appear anyways, unless something crazy happens. But hope your afternoon is going very well. Lots to understand before we get into the final hour of the day. We're going to take a second, go back and review a few opportunities that we had at the open this morning. There was a ton of opportunities, like Adobe's green, by the way, after gapping down huge this morning. So yeah, Neil, just go long Adobe, as we were talking about in the pre-market apparently. But Neil is here. Yep. Neil is here to lead the way this afternoon.
Thank you very much there, Brendan. We're going to talk about, look, it's going to be Amazon today, and it's really, sometimes you get pretty fortunate when you get whipsaw action, and you have to have a plan of action, because truth of the matter is you got to prepare to get lucky, and that's what happened here today for me on Amazon. I want to set the stage a bit. Everyone knows it's quad witching, options expirations, index rebalancing. What that does mean is you are going to have crazy whipsaw action right at 9:30. You're going to have increased volatility, increased volume, and sometimes you can use that to your advantage. Now, if you watch this live show, you know I've made the top wick plenty of times, or bottom wick, getting in and out and just have horrible exit points when it just breaks and then it reverses the other way. This time, we're going to talk about something different. Now, clearly you care about some strike prices here. Amazon, even on my 15-minute here, did have a previous day top right at that 105 at the open. So big line in the sand at 105, obviously option price there as well. You don't really have the 100 in play, but you did have this bottom band, 101.50 to 102, which would have been the week low at 101.50, and then you've got this 102 band from yesterday's bottom. So all I'm thinking when we come in today is, well, I want to play off of those two levels, that 101.50 to 102 band for support and the 105 for resistance. And sometimes, like I said, you're going to get a little bit fortunate because this comes right down to 102 and change. We're waiting on the bid. And this is the thing about this market. When there's increased volatility, wait for your price. If the market is coming towards the level that you want, do not get FOMO, especially at 9:30. It is so easy to say, oh my gosh, it's going to snap off this level. It's going to snap off this level. Get in, because you're afraid to miss the trade. But just wait till it gets all the way down to the bottom. I was sitting on the bid before the market opened, so I was fortunate enough to get that fill. Now, of course, the whole time I'm thinking, well, I initially loved the 105 short, so we're going to make sure that we take this out on the way up. We get out in the consolidation range that we had here off this 103, 103 and a half price, and then it's about the reverse at 105. Now, I'm going to take this every single time. What I'm going to get to in a second is the V-shaped bottom here and why it turned into a long trade that I didn't get back into until it was above 105. But we do take the short off of that 105. When it curls, I always allow it to reject the level first, especially at that time, and then try to jump into the reversal. We got it down one level for the scalp, thinking we were going to get a chance at this 103.50. At the same time, simultaneous to this, Tesla made the same setup. I missed the bid on Tesla by about a couple of dollars, but was able to catch the short off 650. And that gave me both levels down. But as it was snapping up, I actually moved my bid up on Tesla by a couple of bucks, was able to get out. That started coming to the upside. The market was breaking back up. There was no real chance there to kind of get more shares out. It was just a huge snap that stopped me out. So I was able to get it all out on one short, but not on the other. That's how fast this market moves. Once things settled down above this price, it seemed to me that we should have just been in this jailbreak mode from 105. So we did end up starting to take that dip buy in front of the 105 price, gave a nice little scalp, I'm holding on to it, then it stops out below. And then this is where we start to overtrade it a bit. And thankfully, I got away from this nonsense pretty quickly. We reversed into a short, we scalped it, and then immediately, we're just scalping right out here again. It's like, no, don't do this nonsense. We thought it was a long when you get a V-shaped bottom, right? You get a huge wick off bottom through the low, and then you break out at that 105. At that point, I need to see it break down and hold below before I'm going to hold that short. Otherwise, I should be shorting off the high of the day trying to play a VWAP trade. That's usually what I do for the shorts. I end up putting that one on and it doesn't get a win. And this is what I mean about that V-shaped bottom. The initial read was to go long off that support and play it into that resistance at 105. When there was no follow through on that little short through 105, the only trade you got to be thinking about there is a long. Now I get it. It's still going to be a positive stock because you end up winning more on your wins than you have on your losses. But this could have been easily the best stock of the day for me if we'd simply just only had that long mentality off that 105 level. It just gives you so many opportunities. Yeah, maybe you're not going to be able to hold it in here. But if you flip back into the long, you're now buying off of these levels and you're playing it out where you're thinking short off the top. I'm not saying you catch the breakout, but even if you broke out 106, not that bad a trade either. When you get wick off bottoms, you have run stops out at the lows, you've gotten the panic sellers out, and then you've broken support and trapped some short trades. Those are all things which can lead to a bit of a trend to the upside. Now, I'm saying all this when it was a very weak market in the morning, so it was not an easy read because things looked like they were falling apart. However, when you see signs of strength, stick with it, especially when that's how you started out with the long.
One of those days where we got an initial move, as I was mentioning, to the downside, but quickly reversed here, back into positive territory. Amazon, we did mention in the pre-market, it wasn't on the watch list this morning, but one of those names that you kind of have to keep in your back pocket regardless of the day, especially Friday. That is the link, guys. If you're looking for it for the watch list, we send it out every single day before we come on at 8:30. It was Chinese stocks that we were talking about in the pre-market if you joined us at 8:30, specifically Alibaba that seemed to be leading initially on a report from Reuters suggesting that the People's Bank of China had given the go-ahead for a financial license for Ant Group, which a lot of speculation then that that would essentially lead to an inevitable IPO. A report came out later on in the morning suggesting that, nope, that still is not true. Similar to last week, we had the same conversation. And once again, we're flip-flopping back and forth. Yeah, I put Chinese strength on there because it ends up being the EV makers that hold onto this strength. Any of the e-commerce stocks, JD.com, PDD, Baidu, Alibaba even, all giving everything back that we saw in the pre-market. But I mean, NIO still right at day highs here, up nicely, 20.5, where, as I mentioned, all of the e-commerce stocks, guys, all the way back.
So, we should have started with crude oil. Oil down 8% right now.
Oil? You cooking?
Yeah, exactly. I'm glad for oil to be down there. My car needs to get refilled a little bit up there, so we're gonna do that. I heard for the first time, not nat gas, but gas at the station will be sub $2 a liter, which is going to be about $7.50 or so a gallon here in Toronto. So welcome, guys. Yeah, look, Alibaba today for me was an epic flush down the toilet. You guys might have saw me trade this earlier, and yeah, it's just straight to the downside here for Alibaba. And the funny thing is that you're going to be wrong, sometimes more than you're right. And today we had Baba there, possible IPO of Ant, right, helping this morning. Stock has been so strong, so let's try the long. And I mean, honestly, like, even when this was going down, I remember saying to Brendan, like, what is going on? There has to be a story here. There has to be something involved with this, because it started up so positively here today, was up 7, 8, 9%. And then we really wanted to defend this 108 level rate here. We did start too early. There's no doubt about that. But this, I'm not even mad at these prints. It's more like what happened into that. So that 109.50 and then these 108.50s, that was really the problem there. Went down, bid back up. We were able, I mean, we smelt that there was something wrong here, so we're able to get out a little bit, but then it just kept on collapsing down before eventually we were like 106 is enough, because we started the day at 113. If you're going to drop down $7 off 113, then there is going to be something wrong. And then I don't remember exactly when the story came out, but Brendan brought it to us. I was already out, and Neil and I was cursing Alibaba under our breath, or just publicly, yeah. And then so that was just a disaster move to the downside there for Alibaba. And the thing is that sometimes, and I think we almost did this one for the trade of the day, but it's just, you got to get out of the way. And I mean, if something doesn't hold, and the thing is that I wrote down here, 108. Right here on the sticky note, 108, 110. So the minute that all broke down, it was pretty easy for me. I should have maybe thought about just getting out at 107, but we got that little bounce spot there at 107, sort of tricking me a little bit there. So a nice move up for Alibaba, and then a complete collapse down. We got out of the way. Now Neil's going to tell you about the long that's down here. That was a good one into 100. We should have taken our shot there. We took our shots elsewhere, and you're going to see that as we go down through the rundown. But so far, so good here today on Alibaba, bouncing off those 101s.
Good.
So off the bounce is what I'm saying.
Oh.
There ain't nothing good about this.
The bounce trade isn't even that good. So like, it's in the money, and the bounce trade will actually have worked for me. But I'll admit that I got into it a little bit early because I was mad at Alibaba and the entire situation, because I had 3 longs. Look, I had a long off 100 that stopped out. I had a long off 108 that stopped. Actually, I took it twice off 108 that stopped out. It's just, look, it's frustrating when, information is power in the markets. And so when you have a situation like this where you trust something and then you think there's a positive catalyst and it's been a strong stock, and then the rug gets pulled on you. It happens, but you got to be able to move on. What I should have done when getting this long, this was consolidating so tightly at the low after so much sell pressure that I'm almost always going to think about that long at the bottom. However, you're going to be able to see, if I got to zoom right in maybe, if you can see a little bit better. You're going to see how I got in when I zoom into this stock. 102.5 and then in front of 102, and then giving it to the low of the day, when realistically, knowing that it had resistance at 103, I should have been just sitting, waiting for it to retest the low, buying here, maybe oddly enough at the same price. Maybe I would be buying at the same price, but just getting a little bit better and being patient with it. But instead, while it will end up positive, this was a revenge entry here. Instead of waiting for it to base out, maybe retest that low at lunchtime and be very calm and sort of collected about it. But Baba, right now, it's only a few pennies in the money. It's still stupid weak. It's up 1% somehow, but yeah, it's one of those situations where how much it is up on the day, that percentage number doesn't tell you the story at all, right? It's been selling in one of the weakest stocks in the market since 9:30.
Yeah, big move. Once again, I was just having a look at some more information coming across on the energy market. 15 minutes ago here in the electronic session for crude oil, we are starting to bounce here. I can show you just quickly still. 7%, trying to hold on to, what is that, 107, I guess, on the way back down. But I just sent a message to Frank, guys, and we will discuss crude oil with Frank Caberna coming up at 30 minutes or so. We'll talk to him about what happened this week, obviously, with the Fed, the interest rate hike, things of that nature. Monster move for the U.S. dollar, as we were saying, initially down, but now today back up again. I'll talk to him about crude oil as well. This was the headline a little bit earlier on today. It was about lunchtime on Russia. The Russian energy minister came out and said not only are they going to increase this year when it comes to output, but also going into next year and further on as well. So that kind of kicked off this move to the downside for crude. Still seeing Revlon chopping around here on a volume chart as well, back towards day highs. But I want to mention Adobe because, yeah, went green after that monster gap to the downside today. Despite, I mean, it was a decent report, numbers beat, but the forecast was a little suspect.
You forecast lower and have a recovery like this, that's one to file away, right? Because ultimately that's bad news in this market, forecasting lower. So if the reaction is to buy it up, then sometimes that puts in a bit of a sign that a stock could, not the market, the stock could be making a bit of a bottom. I'll leave it at that. But I will say, I commented and I joked before we came on air that Brennan should have just punched long, because as we were talking this morning, Brennan kept inadvertently saying, because they beat in the top and the bottom, that Adobe was green in the morning. And I was like, yeah, you should just go long if you think that's the case. A lot of times, we've said this over and over again, on these earnings plays, if it is down and it is struggling in the morning and at the open, it does not break the low, there's only one place to go. It's ridiculous. I don't know how many times I'm going to stare at this. It's a tricky long to be able to get, obviously, because it never really gave you an actual opportunity. It's a crazy wick at the open. It didn't really do this. So it just didn't give you that opportunity for the long. You really would have had to chase it. But there was a 350 break that maybe you could have scalped it and just given it like $1 or $2. And then it ends up going up 7 or 8. I waited for 358 and 360 for the short. It ended up being a fade here into VWAP. And then when it retested the level, I'm like, okay, well, let's see. When it retests 358, do I want it? Look at the candle. In a 3-minute chart, essentially, you had like a $5 candle, which thankfully kept me away from taking the second short. And once it did this, there was just no chance. You know, I want to see a consolidation, fall short the consolidation. When it does that, there's almost no chance. So I got away from Adobe, thankfully, somehow with one short and no other trades. Because when it's this strong and my first read was short and somehow I'm not down on it, yeah, you take the profits and run to the hills.
I mean, I didn't trade Adobe, but I mean, I like the name. I think it's one of those COVID kind of names there that was really rocking during that time. You had DocuSign and stuff like that that's been getting hit. But Adobe, a household name, one that probably needs to get bought. Great valuation on it. And I like the name. I like the stock. And Adobe, just a little bit too expensive for me at 380 or whatever it is they're trading. So I stayed away from it. It's not that it's too expensive to trade. It's just I don't have too much experience trading that name. I don't know. We don't have Revlon on the board there, but
that stock is absurd.
But wow, Revlon right now. We were only short until we went long, until it broke back down again. So initially we were thinking short all day, every day, and yeah, that changed up real quick there on Revlon as that's starting to bust out higher and higher and higher. Remember, the short float on this is pretty unbelievable. They did declare bankruptcy, which is unbelievable. There was just $1 not too long ago. Here's Revlon's short float on floatchecker.com right here. So have a look for yourself and see exactly what we're talking about. Revlon right here, 50% according to FinViz, Yahoo 36. So I'd say we're probably around 40%, let alone how much more today has been added to that. Float, very light float for such a big name, man. Shares outstanding's higher. That means they're held by whomever, some of the principals and stuff like that. Creating the outstanding shares, but only 5 million shares out there to trade, 5, 6, 7, 8 million shares out there to trade. So Revlon motoring. People, I saw someone say, like, could it be the next AMC GME? Yeah, I mean, it could. There's no really reason why, especially because it's so cheap right now. It's only done 100 million shares, which is the one thing that, normally like to see a little bit more than that. But yeah, I mean, I don't see why this name can't get going again. So if you're a fan of Revlon, man, or these, you don't have to be a fan of the Revlon, but these kind of stocks moving like this, I think this is going to be hot for the next little while. Revlon just continues to bounce higher. You're right into this area. I mean, if you're going to short something, it'd be about this 550 or so area right there, right where the 50 period is and right where we were before the declaration of bankruptcy down to $1. Nothing like going to $1, then going 4x from there. But we'll wait to see here. 550, I think, is interesting. It's actually 525. You blow through 525 again. I don't expect it today, but when you do that on Monday or Tuesday, then I really do think it's look out below right now on Revlon. And then again, I don't mean to be off of what we're going on the rundown here, but new position position alert for me, Meta. As the market fades back in, we have this 164. So we're long right now, 164.38 right here. We're just going to see what it does at 164 flat. If it breaks it, we tried long here in the middle of the day. Short, we got it, and then it broke higher. So that was a flat trade there, in there, out, in there, out, although it's the wrong way around. But that's what we did. And now we're going to try it one more time against 164. I just wanted to bring that to everyone's attention.
An impressive move for sure, guys. There was a note just before we came back on there at 2 o'clock on Revlon from a court hearing talking about the possibility of $375 million in bankruptcy filing and also some funding secured. And remember, there was talk of some interest coming out of India as well on a buyout. But remember, this was yesterday. The NYSE to commence delisting proceedings against Revlon as well. So lots still kind of up in the air as far as REV is concerned, it would appear. Tesla is still positive on the day. A lot of the reason it would seem anyways that some of the other EV names remain positive on the day as well. Fisker's up, Lucid is up. Side note, I saw a Lucid Air on the streets of Toronto for the first time yesterday. Yeah, I did. It was pretty cool looking, actually. But here's Tesla, 2.5%, guys, trying to hold 650.
Well, like
Meta.
he's inadvertently saying that Adobe's up and you just buy that. So maybe you should just bought Lucid this morning because Brendan saw one. I haven't seen one myself on the road. But Tesla was very similar to Amazon, but then a bit different. So the difference was I liked the bid, but it never got anywhere close to it on the dip. So there was really never any chance. Like it bottomed out before the market opened instead of Amazon. Amazon flushed like just right closer to the open. We had bottomed already on Tesla and then really we're jailbreaking to the upside. So the 650 came into play on Tesla, but then I was able to get both legs out. And what happened is it actually wicked back down to 640 here, and I'm like, whoa, it snapped back. And I'm like, we just need to get out of this because you had a V-shaped bottom. And it was a name that it led the push to the downside when things fell off before 9 o'clock. We came on air, and all of a sudden Tesla starts selling off. It was layoffs, which we already knew was true, but it started selling off anyways. And then you'd already started making this crazy bottom when it was the first thing I saw that started selling. So the second it started to bounce back upside, we were able to get out of it. I never got the reverse at 650, unfortunately. So once that trade was gone, but the only thing I could do was not defend it. The manner in which it came back through 650, I just didn't want to touch it. Like it just chewed through this. Like this is a good 10, 15, almost $15 move in 10 minutes with just clear lack of support anywhere. So there was no way I was going to be buying that dip. At this point, it actually felt we're going to retest the low of the day. I'm like, oh, the price that I wanted in the morning, we're going to get that. And then that actually didn't happen. I think now 650 is trying to hold up a little bit. So things have calmed down a bit, and we have VWAP here holding in the middle. So Tesla finally has a bit of level that'll make some sense to you. But unless you were willing to step in front of the sword today in a big way in the pre-market on witching day, you couldn't have had the Tesla bottom. I just don't see any way that you're getting that long. Amazon was attainable, but you couldn't have had Tesla. Definitely could have had that 650 break. Just have to be fast to get those stop orders in sometimes. But wow, it's holding the markets up. You had mentioned Lucid, Brendan. Like just an absolute rocket ship off a double bottom here on Lucid. Like you're not going to see. I mean, I don't know. We'll go back to NEO maybe at some point, but double bottom and then just clear. We talk about stocks going up in like a nice linear fashion. There's no parabolic move here. It is just just gliding to the upside here. So super strong Lucid. I wish I just bought it when you said you saw one this morning. Maybe that was the signal.
Maybe that was. What the signal should be for me is this. Because let's go, man. There goes Meta. A nice little move to the upside. Look at that long right there. 164.30. We're in the 70s right now. So we're trying to get this to go a little bit higher here on META, Meta. Go Jays go, by the way. Yankees this weekend. Yikes on that one. Our best out there is 66 right now on Meta. We're going to hold this against that 64 flat. So we talked about that in there. We'll take 40 cents and hopefully give that 1-to-1 1-to-1 risk to reward, and we can get back up to the upside if the market wants to go. I feel long now in this market. We are going to talk a little bit about the travel plays coming up, so I'll talk about CCL. At that point, you can see a big winner still from the morning and the sticky notes. So sticky notes failed on Alibaba, which I don't think it did. But anyways, let's move off that. Fisker right now, I just want to talk about that quickly. Big move there. Brendan brought us that CEO was over there on CNBC, some station. I never heard of it, but it's apparently exists. And there it is right here. Big move down for Fisker. I don't think it gets too exciting until we break 9, which is right here. There it is right there. There's the $9 mark. So I'd like to see them get through this little level here the last 5 days, clear it a bit higher. Then I think you have a 1050 area to get to, which, you know, should be pretty fun. We'll see what happens right now with Fisker, but I just thought I'd throw that in there as we're talking about Lucid and Tesla and all those other names. But that is the little take there on Fisker. Needs to get above 9 for me, but what a nice move upside if you are long Fisker. Look at it just ride this 50 period all the way to the upside. So good trade there. If you're long, I probably would stay long. And then targets here for Meta. We've taken some out here as it came back in, but I think we take another piece around 165. Hopefully the market will want to go upside. We're really just slave to the market here, to be honest with you, because if it's just going to dance around, then yeah, you know, I'm probably going to get taken out. Like, I understand the way I trade, and I can't just sit here and get run over, sort of the way Alibaba style was this morning, right? Gangnam Style. I think that's one of Fahad's favorite songs. So we'll go whoop 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 Gangnam Style on that one. So I like Gangnam Style. I shouldn't say Fahad. It's one of my favorite songs too.
Is it though?
Yeah, I like it. It's actually really trendy, man. If you listen to that again, it's fun to dance to.
It's catchy, yeah.
It's like, it only has about 12 trillion YouTube views on
My daughter likes it because it's catchy.
Yeah, exactly. The kids love it. And by the way, guys, 282 likes, 4,000 watching. Let's get this going. I mean, it's Friday. It's a long weekend. It's fun time. I'm surprised we don't have Heineken's here, but it should be a real good day,
You don't
man.
know what's in this cup.
Yeah,
It's tea.
I know what's in that cup.
You know what? I know what should be in this cup, but
Yeah, exactly, but not yet. So anyways, I have to check out. It's too bad because in my golf pool, I normally take Scotty Scheffler, and I noticed that he's running things again. So I don't have Scotty Scheffler. Ken Smith, Shane Lowry, McIlroy, Thomas, and somebody else.
What's going? You know what? I almost got way off topic because I was about to be like, what the heck is going on in the PGA with this whole like all the golfers?
The Live Tour.
The Live Tour, and I didn't know anything about this.
It's
until
just
I saw
controversial because they don't want. It's like they're going out. It's Saudi supported. It's Saudi backed. So it's like you're taking Saudi money, which, again, like we're trading Lucid every day, but it's just a matter of, there are some moral issues there. But they paid to give up their PGA card. Dustin Johnson got $150 million. Mickelson got $200 million. DeChambeau got $100.
That's not a difficult decision.
Yeah, and the funny part about
all... There's a Busta Rhymes song for this.
Yeah, the funny part of all that, man, is that they're still allowed because the majors aren't part of the same union, I guess, or they're their own thing, so they can still play in all the majors. So people pretty pissed off about that. But okay, so there goes Meta. I mean, we're right up to here. I said to Fahad, I sent him a message. I was like, watch this Meta, and now we're going to try to go a little bit higher here, get something out at 164.80 for another 50 cents, and then we'll just try to stack it up. So we spin the wheel here on META, and there it is. Yes, Meta. We just get out right there on that little tick. So jackpot comes through right now. Now let's go, Meta. This will be a good one for us. Drinks on me tonight, Fahad. Here we go. Back to Brendo.
Yeah, market grinding back to the upside, basically at day highs here. I was also reading on that. Tiger Woods turned down 9 figures just to show up, which is impressive. I mean, obviously not in the best of shape at this point, but hey, 9 figures is 9 figures. Snapchat. We were talking about in the pre-market as well. Higher on this headline, talking about a subscription-based service. Relative volume still quite impressive on this today, 2.5%. Really hasn't done much. It's kind of bouncing around sideways, but lots of volume for Snap.
We liked one trade on Snapchat, and that was just to go long in front of $12. It put on such a good bottom here for the entire week at 12 even. I didn't really think the catalyst was all that fantastic. Truth be told, like it's up 2.5%. The NASDAQ's up 1.8. So all it's really done is bounce off support and then go back to where it had gapped up to. So I don't think that has to do with the catalyst. I think all that happened was you got down to that price level, got to 12. I didn't believe in it past VWAP. You'd have heard me say in the midday show, I'll be happy when it gets to 12. 12.25, and then you just give it up. It ends up going back to the high. That speaks more to what the market has done, in my opinion. But it just goes to show on these witching days, if you find a good support level or resistance level in the morning, sometimes it can pay off like gold, because like it's more likely to pull to that price or push to that price, I guess, if it's a short, and then sometimes just run away from it. It's easier to know where your defined out is going to be. In this case, you already had established a really good level down there at 12 bucks on Snapchat, so we're able to take advantage of it. But you know what? The market presses lower and it ends up being a disaster down day. Well, you know, I'm just losing 7 or 8 cents instead of making, on average, it probably paid about 12. But you're just losing that. So you got to know where your out's going to be. This time it gave you a defined out. You know, they got all kinds of issues. It's great that they're trying to do monetization, but they're getting their what's handed to them, which is why the daily chart looks like it does. Like, I'm not sitting here telling you, long 12. Right, like you could. It's not even a blip. It's up 2.5% today, but it's not even a blip. It's not close to breaking out. But there's scalp trades to be had, and that's a thing to keep in mind. Just because a name is down and beaten up like this, sometimes you will find these good trading opportunities. But it doesn't mean the stock is a long-term buy necessarily at 12 either.
So I don't have anything to say about Snapchat. I didn't look at it today because Thanos can come by any time and get rid of that stock. But yeah, Bostonite. No, it's 100% true. I just told you, Phil Mickelson did not turn it down. He got $200 million cash.
Of course he said
and of course Tiger Woods is going to turn it down, to be honest with you. It's not part of his thing, right? The PGA, you get banned basically from the PGA. Now, who knows if they're going to let these guys come back on, but Tiger Woods' legacy, to me, is more important than a couple figures there.
He's in a different spot than everybody else, man.
Probably looks like he's getting his mugshot taken over there, by the way. But and then, so I think there was 3 golfers that accepted the 9 figures. And like I said, it was DeChambeau, Dustin Johnson, and Mickelson all took over $100 million from the Saudis. So there you go, man. I mean, wow, like that's why I'm going golfing with my father tomorrow. So I'm going to take a couple videos of that, send that over to the Live tour there, showing that I have a whopping 30,000 followers, and then maybe I'll get that $100 million as well. But I doubt that. But hey, that's sports, man. I mean, good for them creating this new league, to be honest with you. It gives more to watch. The cool thing about the Live Tour is, and they're doing different things, which is awesome. And it's just, I'm not saying that I support it because there's a political thing there, and we try not to do that on the show. But what the cool thing is you can have teams. So there's like a captain, and then they draft players. And then if your team, you add up all the scores at the end, and it's like whoever, and I think the winning team gets like 10 million, and then you divide it amongst the 5 guys.
They should do that on the PGA.
No, but it's so sick because then, exactly. Because
that's a great idea.
Because then when it shows the scoreboard, it'd be like, oh, Dustin Johnson's on the same team as XYZ. So you can sort of see how that goes. So there's kind of more to cheer for as it goes. But last week, the minimum,
more to bet on.
The minimum bank on last week's London event was 120,000. So just to show up, some no-name guys out of college that don't even have their PGA card made 120,000.
I'll break my back over that. I was doing air swings before the trade of the day up there.
Yeah.
These guys saw. I was doing like these, just you line up and you pretend. And I actually even my back was hurting doing that. Like that's how bad I am. Before we go on, I have to come back to Revlon because everyone's like, look at Revlon, look at Revlon. Oh my goodness, Revlon. And I finally did this because it was oddly enough, Ian was talking about this in the midday show. And as he was saying this, I turned and shot him like, wow, I just got into the same trade here on Revlon because he was showing the support level. And it's easier to do this when you get stopped out of a short. I had the short at 360. You see it work, and then buyers just could not break the 330 level. You can see every single time it could not get through 330. And then I get stopped out, and when it hits the high of the day, then it bounces off 330, the entry price, bounces again. At lunchtime, when it gets to the tightest range, it tries to flush one last time. That is a single wipe down flush right here. Hits 340s, 10 cents away, and then zooms right back up. I get hit at 40s, I jump in, get some more at 50s. I start scalping it out, and I'm like, why am I doing that? Let's just hold on to it, see if it can't go more. It retests the high. Of course, the second I see an offer at 425, I get out in front of it, so I'm not still in this stock. I thought it would go to $5 so I could short $5, but Revlon super strong. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. That is all that is happening here. Look, could somebody pick them up? Yeah, maybe, but realistically, it's all about the squeeze at this point. Looks like the short is coming in.
Yeah, the volume's picking up on Revlon. I don't know where you want to short this thing, but maybe through $4 on that ball. I would rather just wait for it to retest some of the highs before punching into short rate now. We did get reloaded, and yeah, maybe drinks are on Fahad after all tonight, because Meta does come back in here. We took out of 70% of it out here. There's 7 outs up there. We reload this long rate now. So yeah, let's see where we go now with Meta. Reloaded long here at 164.20. Gonna get out a little lower than 164 flat. Let's see if the futures can hold. But look right here on the NASDAQ, right? So we're talking golf. Now we're right back into sport, right back into trading. But yeah, if it breaks right here, the NASDAQ is below the 50 period and testing some of those lows that it made about 2 hours ago. So watch out for that. And again, remember, it's quad witching. So that's going to be a big one. We will talk all about quad witching coming up, of course, again. And it's just the expiration of stock index futures, index options, stock options, and single stock futures. So big expiration coming today. Meta now 10 cents in the money.
Yeah, lots of action to come. Let's get into, including Frank Caberna, guys. Stick around for that. Let's get into travel stocks here. I just noticed CCL took out day highs there on a big volume spike, coming back in a little bit. But these have been pretty impressive all day. It took 880 2 times to be tested before it ripped up 10%. But nice move right across the board here, guys, for all things travel today.
Poor Fahad. He tells me a message in my ear, and I just start to mock him. But no, thanks, Fahad, for that one. And Fahad said, why don't we do a likes call? We just did a likes call, but I can do another one there. You know, let's get those likes going. We only have a certain amount of likes today, 474. So if you can hit it, do that. It's Juneteenth on Monday. So that's the point, is that we're not going to be here on Monday. So hit it now. Boys getting loud in the back because of that options expiration. I think they're discussing some strategies there. Hopefully that's going to be good luck for many people today. Okay, so let's just go quickly into this before we go. CCL today, definitely something that's on my mind all day. Here's CCL. Look at this, like possible rebound day. How does 10% sound for CCL here off the sticky note? Possible rebound day for travel, right? I can't even read my own writing. As CCL is down 40% in the last 7 days, watch out for this 870 long early, right? Watch out for that early. Did we watch out for it? Hell yeah, we watched out for it. And here's our long right there. Big time, 892 before the market opened. We were waiting down here at 870. Like, I can't ping this much better than that, man. It comes right down to 875, and then it's just rip your face off rally the rest of the day. And here's a couple outs. This is how you know we have shares. We're getting out. We did not expect this, but look at it ride the 50 period all the way back up. So my out is a break of this 50 period, which is now 950. So big win time here for CCL. Nice little move back up to the upside, man. I'm really proud of this trade. Glad to have given this one to all of you. And it can't be any simpler than what I wrote down, right? It was just take that long off that 970 bottom and literally went to 975. So we started the party early at 890, and that's where we're long right now with a stop at 950. So yes, sir, we spin the money for that one. Oh, and by the way, yeah, Fahad, I have to probably get you a drink here because there goes Meta. Yes, sir, the reload. Not only that, man, but we reloaded this Meta trade. So we'll go like this. Oops, wrong one. We meant to do this one. Yeah, diamond hands, yeah, whatever. We meant to do this one. So we got reloaded there, so double the profits there. Not just one time 70%. Now we're gonna go again back up to the upside. So just like a roller coaster, you like the ride, get right back on. Here goes Meta, hopefully back up to the upside. We are starting to get out a little bit though. Let's watch this 50 period, but look what's happening now. Market trying to go back upside. So we might have a nice little win here on META, Meta, formerly known as Facebook.
And just if we try to get back to that upside, I'm getting out of Alibaba in front of VWAP, right? So I don't think BABA's recovering all the way. I'd be perfectly happy if it pulled a move back up to 104. I am sitting in an NVIDIA short from lunchtime. Like when the market made this, oh, I did that thing again. When the market made this power move to the upside, this time I can actually give you the black chart. When it made this power move and the double top on NVIDIA, I just see 160, even numbers. When you have options expiration, I just think to myself, okay, even numbers, if you can short off of those, a lot of times we'll just run away. So I have had a couple of shorts on NVIDIA. I have taken some out. I'm now bidding VWAP, and the market looks relatively strong. Similar thing with a firm, only a firm went parabolic, but I don't want us taking out that fresh high and then getting stuck in NVIDIA. It is relatively strong after making a nice recovery. The chips have been weak all week. but now you're getting a bit of a bounce. This one has worked. It can't turn into a loser unless I somehow miss my stop, which that's not going to happen. I should.
A lot of people in the financial industry, guys, have a lot of opinions when it comes to the FOMC release and what to do if you're a trader during that release. We're going to talk strictly today about trading during the FOMC and why it's important to not overtrade during the announcement. Yes, there is a ton of opportunity. There's a ton of volume. There's a ton of volatility, but it's important to understand that over trading is easy to find yourself in.
Yeah, I mean, 100% on that one, Brendan. I mean, what a tricky day that those are, man, the FOMC, because you get some big time whipsaw action. And I feel like over trading, and I'm really glad that we're doing this right now, because that was one thing that I've really learned in my early days. You get so excited, like the traders behind us, and even us, man, we were sitting here like we started 10 minutes early that day, right, to come on the air. So it's like, it's a very, very exciting day to trade. The important thing is get your ducks lined up, know what you want to do, and basically like know what you're looking for. And I want to come over to my screen right here for the TQQs. And again, like here, I'm going to zoom this back out just to show you guys what we're talking about. So just look. So the TQQs is just a triple levered ETF here for the NASDAQ, right? So that's going to have to be looked at a little differently because it's triple, but I just trade that so I could get bigger moves here, which we wound up having like an 8 or 9% winner. But look at the volume, pretty dead heading into it, right? And then 2 p.m. hits, and then you know the action is coming fast and furious on this one, right? So what happened was the number came out. You get that first move all the way to the high side, 25. Remember, we were like at $24. Number comes out, and it was a raise of 75 basis points, rips to the high side, then makes a move back down, right? And then at that spot, we sort of looked at some of these lows back to the open here, and we're like, you know what? Let's see what the market wants to do off these lows. So we actually wind up averaging into it all, which is kind of lucky that it didn't break lower. So I think this was an initial mistake. But as it pops back up, we get out. And then we're like, okay, now let's stop over trading this thing and wait for it to come back down. When the market came back in, you could see we averaged, then we got out on that break. But it showed its face and gave us that wick bottom down here. As soon as we saw that, back into the close the past day, we went long. And this is where the fun really started. It just started to rip up. So that long 23.50, long, all the way up, best out here 25. So $1.50, right? When we were wrong, we got out real quick. But when it's Fed day, you're expecting big time moves. So always hold on to a little piece. And then we got back long again near the end of the day, which worked until we had to get out when the market was over that with at 4 p.m. But the key thing that I want to say about this is there's no shorts in here. So the minute I knew the market wanted to be long, it was like I just tried to stay focused and tried to get the best prices. So, you know, try to absorb as much as you can with the release. Take 3, 4, 5 minutes to learn what's going on. We heard Jay Powell hit the mic. That's where we started to go long down here, talking very bullish, and we knew that we could hold some of this for some upside moves. So I would just say be patient and just pick a direction and just don't get whipsawed back and forth.
That's the key. And patience, because look, realistically, if you simply set a break when the market hit the high, I'm going to show you Amazon because, and I could show you a lot of other things too. Like you got a wick top on Amazon, you take that long break, you're stopped out. If you're taking it back to support, it stops VWAP, it stops recent support. There was one shot for a trade. And we always say this. The one thing you want to look for that initial trade, but the only thing that ever makes sense to me, because you're not going to get that first move, it's just nearly impossible, is if you find support at the previous support level that particular day, then you can make a scalp trade. Amazon gave that to you off that 105 area, and then you make a scalp to the high. Once that has happened, the only thing you can do then is wait for 230. Because at 230, generally speaking, that is when the market picks a direction. And you have to be willing to miss the move to get the move. Maybe this market starts going before Powell takes the podium and is answering questions. And maybe you don't catch the bottom. But that's a heck of a lot better than just getting jiggled out on all these big, massive whipsaw trades back and forth. However, this is right at 230. The market makes a bottom, previous support here for Amazon, and then it gets going. Now ask yourself a question here. Does it really matter where you got long after 2:30 on Amazon? Did you take it at the bottom? Did you take it on a break of 105, the key level that we loved? Did you take it at 106 when it broke here? Did you take it at the high of the day break? All of those trades worked past 2:30. It's the first time you could have said that. Now, you still have to get out. You still have to take profit when it makes that double top. But patience is a virtue. And the most important thing for me is sometimes to get the move, you've got to be willing to miss the move. And what that means is you might have gotten a good entry price and a price that you like before 2:30. But there's a good chance that you got stopped out along the way and then you weren't still either alive or in it to be able to get the real win that happened after we took the podium. So don't overtrade. Be patient. You might have a scalp trade after 2 o'clock, but you want to make that bigger directional trade after 2:30.
So important to have a plan, so important to understand that ranges will be larger than you expect. So understand that it's going to be volatile during an event like that, but that doesn't mean there aren't excellent trading opportunities. Guys, a little bit of a look back at this week's FOMC announcement and trading opportunities that came from it. Just quickly, STRY here. Going absolutely crazy right now. 44% right now, but just straight to the upside. 440 up to about $6 right now. There was an initiation from Cowen today on an outperform, but this thing wasn't really doing anything all day. Just starting to go here. STRY on a big move.
All right, some more movement there. We will look at all these stocks for you. I just want to say, let's just go, man. Bang. We throw the bangs around here. We're going to have Frank Caberna come on soon to give you some knowledge, drop some knowledge. We're going to drop some trades on you again. Boom, boom, boom. All the way to the upside here, 164.20. Bang that one out there. Nice little upside move, guys, on this. So, yeah, we've just been taking it out. We only have 30% left. Like, this is just scalp nation, and this is what I'm doing here today is just try to get in and out as much as we can. And now we only have 30% left on this one. Took a couple outs here. Look at the market fading back in a little bit. And then CCL made a nice move to 64. We're just going to respect this 50 period. Remember where we're long? CCL sub $9 down here. We didn't take anything out on the way up. We just saw it riding this and was like, you know what? We'll wait till it breaks. So right now I'm just going to use 950 as the out for that one. Facebook is coming back in. I mean, I don't have a problem taking another piece out here at 48, 49 if we can. If it bumps back up, just tried to offer that level. We'll see, but here it comes back in right now. The market, remember, there it is, just got it out again. But when the market's below the 50 period like we are right now, and I apologize, I'm only looking at the NASDAQ. That's all I ever look at pretty much. But you can see right there, there it is, nice out again at 50, right? So we're just going to keep on rinsing and repeating this trade as much as we can down there near 164. Although, as they say, Neil, sometimes 3 times a charm. We've already done it once, twice. So I feel like I'm pushing a little bit there, but we only have 20% left. So I may just let the rest of this ride and see where we go, because right now Meta and the market, a little tipsy, it's rebalancing, right?
Exactly,
we talked about the quad witching today. This is the single biggest event of the year. I actually think it's bigger than December.
I don't know, man. I've always felt...
I feel like December's like that vacation time.
Though.
No, but it's the reason why, let me justify it quickly. Okay. Technically, it's the same. And year end might even have more because it's year end. It's just, I always feel like there's that Christmas lull where you get traders sort of away from their desk a little bit during that last 2 or 3 weeks there in December. So I could say the same thing for summertime, which we're in right now. So maybe a little backtrack on that. But I always find like the June rebalances are pretty awesome.
Look, they're both definitely fantastic. That's why we get excited for days like today. I'm going to be a little more positioned here, but I want to get to the STRY just very, very quickly before we get to Brennan and Frank, because this gets to like 7. It gets real spicy. It had a shelf at $7, with the bottom end of this range is about 665. So if you're looking at this as a parabolic mover, which it obviously is, you start saying to yourself, where could it turn around? Where should we be taking profit? It's getting real close, 665 and 7. Somehow this stock has not halted at any point. That's all I want to say. I mean, you look at the chart, you judge for yourself if you think at some point this should have halted. But yeah, we know sometimes it gets a little fancy with these halt rules. But watch out. Small float, as always. Only about 30 million on the float. Actually, I see some anywhere from 30 to 80 million. Either way, that's pretty small. Brendo?
All right, as promised, yeah, with a look at the week that was an important week for the market. And as far as currencies, treasury yields, interest rates are concerned, Frank Caberna, Director of Content, Product and Creative over at the Small Exchange, in Chicago, back with us for a little bit of a wrap up here, Frank, on, I mean, a crazy week overall. Let's call it how it was. 0.75 basis point increase comes from the Fed. Fed Chair Powell then says, don't get used to these kind of increases going forward. This might be a one-off. We might get one more. We might get a half. Regardless of what was said, huge moves for the U.S. dollar, initially back down. Today, we see a nice recovery. And you want to start things off here with a look at some of the yields as well.
Yeah, definitely want to kick it off in interest rate world. And what a week it was, especially for contrarians out there, mean revert traders, whatever you want to call it, because everything, U.S. dollars, rates, everything started the week outside of its expected range here. And I want to throw up a graphic that we did on Monday, and we're going to try to do this more and more often just to show some opportunities kicking off the week. Here is the 2-year yield market. And what was projected, Brendan, was at the start of the week a range of $28 to $32. That's 2.8% to 3.2%. When I jumped on with you on Monday afternoon, this market was already at $34, which is to say far outside of its range. And this was a classic Fed rate hike week that we saw in, I believe it was 2015, 2016, but also have started to see here in 2022 as we lift off of zero, which is everyone's pricing in the hike and pricing in even that 75 basis point hike. That was part of the big rally in rates over the last week or so. And then the Fed comes out, does the thing, and then walks it back a little bit, because at the end of the day, of course, they're working to combat big long-term movers like inflation and everything else, different fears, geopolitical and otherwise that come up. But in the short term, they want to do so without creating too many waves, without increasing volatility too much. And you saw Monday, Tuesday, huge rallies in interest rates, huge rallies in U.S. dollars. But then on the actual day, you saw rates moving lower, which I know can confuse a lot of people, but this is how futures markets work. You price in that 75 bip hike leading into the event. On the actual day, though, Brendan, we saw that peak, and then the market actually moved lower, equivalent here in the future, a move lower of $2 or $3 following the actual rate hike. That's a 20, 30 basis point move lower in that 2-year yield. And so really, really nice moves, especially for people who look at, realized volatilities and everything else. Now, where are we in terms of the grand scheme of things, and where are we headed? We are still toying with this 3% number. We've got 2-year yields at 3.2%, 10s and 30s basically within 10 basis points of that. And the battle in the future, Brendan, is going to be, do we get past 3% and really clear it, get up to 4% where we haven't been since 2007, 2008 range? Or do we come back lower? You see, we skyrocketed through 3% in the 2 years and then reverted a little bit, but still north of that number. Going to be really interesting. And I'd like to even rope in, if we go to my share screen, the FOMC probabilities for upcoming meetings, and what you and I can do here, Brendan, as a way too early projection of what the Fed's going to do the rest of the year. Next meeting in July, Brendan, already almost 100% priced in another 75 basis point hike. We're right now at, let's call it 150 basis points. They're thinking that we could get up to 225 for the next meeting. Now, as we've seen in the last week of price action, they can put in another rate hike. They can take one out very, very quickly, and you'll see all those moves translate to those small 2-year yield futures. Where do you think we're going in the future here, Brendan? I mean, the game is essentially higher interest rates, but how high becomes the question.
And how quickly as well. I mean, you know, that was the talk, after the fact on Wednesday, obviously 75 in July. What do they do in September? We've heard kind of mixed reviews as far as that is concerned. But if we get 75 basis points in July, you would have to think, that's enough for now. Let's see maybe what happens in September on the half point. We correlated back on Monday, we correlated this move as well in treasuries, in currencies, with the overall move in stocks back to the downside. It was interesting, though, Frank, during the announcement on Wednesday, we had a nice rally off of the lows, essentially, as Fed Chair Powell came on at 2:30, right into the close. Very, very strong. Obviously, we get the huge gap down the next day, though.
Yeah, and I know people who are long stocks might not like hearing me say this, but stocks continuing lower that following day with rates continuing to come off those highs simultaneously is actually kind of healthy in my mind, because for the last several weeks, man, it has been just everything dictated by rates. And what I mean by that is almost one for one, rates move higher, US dollar moves higher, and stocks move lower. And we got so stuck in that one for one correlation that seeing stocks move lower following that Wednesday rate hike, following a move lower in interest rates, really shows me that finally some of these correlations are breaking and stocks can act on their own. And we're seeing it even today. I mean, it depends on the names that you're looking at, but NASDAQ up 1.5 percentage points. The small technology futures here up 2% here today, even with interest rates up marginally, basically unchanged, but rates are higher and dollars are higher here on Friday, and stocks actually bucking that recent trend and moving higher. Once we see this correlation break a little bit, and it doesn't have to be one for one every single day that rates and dollars move higher, stocks move lower, that gives me a greater confidence that stocks can not only act on their own, but see a little bit of the upside that rates have potentially seen here. I mean, if all of this downside in stocks, Brendan, is coming from rates moving higher and how that's going to make it more difficult for companies to do X, Y, and Z and everything else, there does, you and I both know that it is a double-edged sword that, well, actually rates kind of normalizing and moving higher can be an indicator of a strong economy and can boost stock prices a little bit as well. I mean, hell, most years, 9 years out of 10, stocks and rates actually move in the same direction. So I'm glad to see that rates moved lower on Wednesday and Thursday. Stocks actually kind of moved in the same direction. Now they're closing the week, both of them moving higher.
You know, we're coming out of that world of exceptionally low interest rates that we've had for a long, long time now that has benefited the overall market and the overall economy. I started things off by saying, you know, the US dollar with a huge move down initially off of the Fed on Wednesday, but we're seeing a bit of a rebound here. You know, one of those areas where we're kind of back into the middle after the initial fade that was, I guess, to be expected in some cases, but it sets up very interestingly now going into next week, obviously, but also going forward here for the USD.
Yeah, and another case, Brendan, here where you're seeing dollars bounce back a lot better than rates are after the big sell-off on Wednesday and Thursday, and you could see they fell from those highs, but yeah, back up to 162 and change. Very close to those highs that the small US dollar futures put in at 163. And another case where I'm short dollars here. I'm short this price extreme that we're seeing in the US currency, but I'm actually there's a little silver lining in that, again, it's kind of bucking a little bit of this trend whereby dollars were trading almost one for one with stock volatility. Everyday stocks were down, dollars were bid, similar to the VIX market there. Bucking some of those trends is at least letting me feel a little bit more comfortable with, like, I got dollars in here and it's a diversified play to my stock plays. And with that being said, I still really like the shorts in here, especially if they're going to give us some wiggle around these highs. This is a scenario where, you know, I can be selling the 162.35s that they're printing right now and be looking for, you know, a buck or two to the downside. They don't need to collapse in US dollars all the way down to 150. The euro doesn't need to get back to, you know, 110, 115 tomorrow for me to make some money scalping around these highs, because it has been a nice profitable trade. Same with gold and silver on the downside, a really nice bounce back in those metals markets that we saw off of Wednesday's release and Fed Chair Powell coming out and saying, like you said, Brendan, maybe not as ferocious with the rate hikes here. The non-interest bearing metals took that as good news. Another case of a diversified play that I'm willing to trade on both sides here, picking up gold and silver around those lows, not looking for gold back to 2,100, but a bounce back of 50 or $100 in gold, or STRY futures, a bounce back of $1 or $2. I think that opportunity is here to stay with trading both sides of all these markets, especially, like I say, as some of the correlations break down and it's not so one for one that we got stuck in for the last several weeks here. I can feel more comfortable trading all these asset classes.
I want to get your take here before we wrap things up, Frank, on energy, because what a move today in oil back to the downside here. I mean, obviously the electronic session closed 6.4% right now, back to the downside for crude oil. Recession, kind of lingering in the background, which obviously will affect demand overall. There was also some supply comments coming out of Russia that they, may increase output going forward over this year and next year. But this is a big move for crude, back to 107, 108 here.
Yeah, and I'd normally love to jump on this, Brendan, as a short-term play, seeing down almost $7 in crude. That's well outside. We started the show showing you some projections based on volatility, and the one standard deviation move in crude on a daily basis right now is $3 or $4. So we're talking about 2 standard deviation move happening, less than 5% of the time. I'd love to jump on that, but my short-term trading in crude has been awful recently, and so I'm not looking. I've been plenty okay with waiting for crude to get up to 110, 115, 120, holding some shorts on the longer term reversals there, and then waiting for it to get down to 100, 95, 90, playing the other side of it. Because it's tough, Brendan. We encounter these markets so often where it's like, big move, man, $7 lower in crude, but we're at 108. And I don't know whether to buy or sell the darn thing. And I'm going to be patient with that. If we, open higher to, 112, 113, I'll be on the short side of that. If we collapse quickly, the start of next week down to, 102, 100, then I'll probably start nibbling. But yeah, huge move. Unfortunately, I can't really make a case one way or the other. If you are looking to scalp, $1 in crude, I would definitely be looking at the long side here, buying the 108s back up to 109. But that would be about as much as you could get out of me.
Listen, it's a long weekend, so at the very least, maybe we get a little bit cheaper gasoline to put in the car.
That'd be nice.
Yeah, to go away for the long weekend. Frank Caberna, Director of Product Content and Creative at the Small Exchange. Enjoy your weekend, sir. We will speak again next week.
Thanks, Brendan.
Frank, the Director of Dropping Science, which is another way we like to call educating. And the
Director of Knowledge.
Director of Knowledge. It's a lot of fun to be able to get his perspective every single week, and we thank him very much for coming on here.
AMD.
Going to update you on a few things that came to the downside. STRY, that Brennan brought it up to our attention. It got to those big levels. It did make a flush back into VWAP. You just mentioned AMD, NVIDIA as well. So was able to get out of NVIDIA as that came back down to 158, grabbed the $1.50. In the other direction, though, Alibaba. I should have shorted Alibaba. A lot of you guys are talking about this, that you're into the short. I want to stay a little bit nimble here. I talked about it getting up to that 104 and we take it out. Bit of a revenge trade the way that I got in. I did want the long off the low, but I got in probably way too early there. Only thing I got left on is a firm to the south side. I don't know what it is about a firm. Like for whatever reason, that I want to hold on to, and the other shorts I take out. I guess I have this weird bias when it comes to the stock. I always think it's just going to absolutely flush in the afternoon when it's barcoding. I should take this profit, and I probably will. If it's still at the same spot, 15 cents in the money, 10 minutes from now, I'll got to take it out because you want to be nimble at this close.
Jack be nimble, Jack be quick. AMD falling down like a candlestick. I don't think that makes any sense. But there we go, bang on that one. AMD, we take that 82 short, man. When Frank was in the building, we were going to hold this to 82.30. Look at this, tick, 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 boom. Nice little move. So we go, yeah, for that one, because AMD right here starting to go back down in, man. We've been loving the short until it got blown out right there. So a lot of shorts here on AMD. Why, you might ask? Or not, I'll just ask myself, is that is AMD today weak, right? Down 0.37. The NASDAQ clearly positive. So when you're starting to break down a little bit and the NASDAQ's trying to give a little bit back, obviously we expect AMD to do the same thing back down in to the downside. So there goes AMD to the downside right now. Good trade on that one. Our meta came out, man. We had 20% left. It came out. I told you how much we had left, what we were doing up there. It does break 164 and we get out. So that's a 164.18, out 164, 160.90, 163.90. Something out there, but low 90s anyways. So again, take the money when it's there. And I don't know, maybe I can zoom in a little bit more just to show you all these outs, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. Maybe we had 30% left for that drop down, but some of these wins there, 50, 60 cents. And then there goes the drop down in, but whatever, man. Let's just move off that because look what AMD is doing. Uh-oh, there's the short. Here it is all the way back down to the downside rate. Okay, AMD, I see you right now. Stupid for me not to put a bid out. There it is. We get hit again on this trade. So one more time, man. We have 25% left, a little bit more than that, left on this trade as it's coming back down in now. And again, we're trying just to like play off these same levels again. So there's another short for you on AMD as we break back down below $82. So boom goes the dynamite on this one, AMD downside, and I like the stock.
Well, I mean, we'd like the stock to trade. Remember, of course, when you're going short, you are betting the stock goes down. So you like the price action.
Wait, what?
Like, look, I'm just being honest because we like the stock usually to go up. Let's be real, especially when it's a solid company like AMD. But you guys know we're trading here. I'm not going to look the gift horse to mouth. I did just, on the last little push down, I got some firm out. Watch out. The market just, I was just talking about, about Alibaba. And for that short opportunity, and look at it just flush. So a bit of the air came out of the sails on a few names there, but then I looked over to see what the NASDAQ was doing. Not that big of a push. So it's just an individual stock market, right? Like you find those relative strength and weakness, and the chips have been weak. Alibaba, I don't have to tell you that that's been weak. But you go to those pockets of weakness because that's where you get that flush. Not a huge move in the overall futures there. I come back, NVIDIA's at VWAP right now. Tesla, which we were watching pretty heavily, you know, we talk about relative weakness, relative strength, it barely even moved, right? So that huge move down in a few names, and Tesla basically barcoding $1. So it's got some strength off that 650 area that we have to pay some attention to. If that doesn't hold that, you know, resistance has been hit this afternoon on a lot of names. You know, on just about everything, resistance has been hit. So, accurate. You know, if you start breaking some of these support levels going into the close, that's where you could see some acceleration to the downside. So the relatively strong names, Tesla holding up here. I bet you NIO's doing. I shouldn't say I bet you, but you know, NIO, which had been holding strong, yeah, it's still near those highs, not even close to VWAP. But oh man, if we get a chance at 21, that's a 2090 top on NIO. That's fadeable. If we get anywhere close to that, I think I would take a shot at that. Just risk to reward. Everything seems to want to be making these tops and fading back in.
Yeah, there's another one right there again for you as we just got out 40s there on AMD. We do have the imbalances, remember, coming out. It's 3 o'clock, right? 3:07 right now, the market on close imbalances. And remember, today is quad witching, right? So you do have we can explain it to you. It's basically because, and not only that, but you're also going to have the half-year rebalancing and things like that. So a lot of people sort of balancing out some of their portfolios and their books. But today, of course, for quad witching, you have single stock index futures, stock options, single stock index options, and single stock futures. I made a note of that.
Say that
because
3 times.
I can't. That's why I had to read it because it's just options, indexes, and futures. So they're all expiring. We call it quad witching because there's 4 of them in there. And what that means is it's going to be a lot of volume off the open, right? Look at AMD's opening. I mean, we could do this for any stock here. There, I'll just show it like this. Look at AMD's opening trade today. 3 million shares on open today for AMD. Look at the opening print, huge, right? We go over to Apple, probably the same thing again. Oh, you're going to do Apple? Look at Apple's open.
It's insane.
Wow.
Apple's
15
I think Apple was the one. Right?
Look. come to this chart here. Look at 15 million shares on open for Apple today. We're expecting the same thing on close. So we're expecting some big imbalances to come through. There's nothing, I can't show you them now. If you guys have anything, I know Dominic yesterday had that Webull app open and,
Oh yeah, if you got
and sharing that. So just to be completely honest with you guys, if you guys have anything like that, please, feed it through. We'd like to see if there is any imbalances. We do look at, Brad looks, Brendan looks for us as well. Financial Juice on Twitter will report, not the individual stocks. We don't know where to, I don't have a source for that, but the total number. So like today, I'm expecting it to be like 3 billion to sell or buy, or I'm going to predict sell side is going to come out. It's been that kind of a week. It's been that kind of a quarter. It's been that kind of a half year. It's been like the worst 6 months in the history of the market. That's not true, but it feels like that. You're literally down 30-40% here, depending on what index you're looking at in 6 months. So I'm expecting some definite rebalances to go, and I think they're going to sell, man. The thing about it is, it's a big liquidity event. So those that want to sell and sort of maybe sell energy names, get back into one way or the other, whatever the direction's going to be, I feel like the imbalance will be sell side because remember, they're looking to pair it off. So like there's not too many opportunities that you're going to get to execute against 15 million Apple shares at one price. So that's the event that we're looking for. It's going to be a big one. I know the traders behind us are getting pretty jacked up and excited for it as well, because as a day trader on a prop floor like this, there aren't too many liquidity events like this. Well, quite frankly, there's 4 of them per year.
No, 2.
This is the big one, but you do have the quarterly rebalances as well. But this is the big one. So the big daddy is here today, rebalance day around here.
Yeah, and the thing about it is like Luca has a term, he says unlimited size. And that's the kind of thing, like when you have that much liquidity, for someone who's just getting in and out in a matter of minutes or seconds for like scalp quick little trades.
Like it's not even crazy to say
like the amount of shares that you can put in when you're a prop trader, when you have a different set of risks. You have a daily risk and you got a lot more buying power because you're not holding overnight. Sometimes you get those quick moves and they can really pay off by just taking a lot of slides on them. Revlon, I want to get to Revlon quickly here because this just bounced off what a strong stock. First of all, like it had a $4 top and it just bounced off $4 and gave you like a 460 high. Now it's a lower high. I was so close to getting into this short, but they had one wick through 450. I was trying to get it up at about 460 to short it to the high of the day, and then it came back in. Now if it can bounce off 4 again, it might have another scalp trade. I just feel like it just seems so unlikely that it's going to make another press to the high. So, if you do get a 4 long here and let it consolidate, I think you're really just trying to take 10, 15, 20 cents. I don't know if there's any home runs left to be had in Revlon, but every time I've thought that, it's been untrue. So I'm thankful enough that I stopped fighting this after 1 short, and I will look for 1 more chance long off 4. Otherwise, I think you're looking right back in if it floods down to that 350 area for a possible trade there. NVIDIA, which we got out of, actually bounced off VWAP a little bit here, just to show you, like nice little consolidation off VWAP. The market is starting to give it up, however. So I am still leaning towards thinking, looking for short opportunities. I'm just holding on to a firm, but I think you want to be shorting pops. Like I go back to NEO, which is still close enough to those highs that it might make some sense. I don't want to dip in here like 30 pennies away on NIO, and then I need it to absolutely flush. So I'm looking for 1 little push to be able to get into something like NEO. Alibaba in front of 104 could start to come into play as well. You guys were talking about that, and I failed to take it. It might give me a second chance here, but I still want to stay nimble. I want to be scalping these trades, not trying to hold on to anything too long. I don't want to be in any individual name when 350 hits, to be honest with you.
Individual, yeah, no, I agree. I'm going to, you said an individual name, but I am right now going to look at the TQQs again.
Yeah, the futures.
Yeah, exactly, different story there. So the futures are the play. If you want to just explode one way or the other, this is what I'm going to do. If I think it's going to be a short, closed trade, then why not get something? like 75 was on the offer here, and I just put offer 75. And yeah, hopefully, I mean, this is TQQ. It can easily come back up, and then I'll get filled up. So right now I'm offering 73s, and I missed it, 73s. So then I said, okay, I'll take 75s. But look what just happened right now, man. Bang it out right here, as it's a bit of big trade for us. We'll also spin the money. Look at AMD, short 82 right now. See ya. So we missed the TQQ trade, but we don't miss this one. That's for darn sure, as this has started making a new move down here on AMD, down 82 short, starting to just print out again. Like, great trade there for me as we go to the downside here on, oh no, unfortunately there comes CCL. Just a 60-cent winner, but we'll go chicken dinner winner for that one. Almost ribs if that went up to the upside there, but you can get chicken and ribs. Why not? Get both of them. There we go to the downside there. How's my TQQ doing off that 75 bottom or top that I wanted?
Broke 650.
55. So there goes 20 cents down the drain there on TQQ. Hopefully that will get reloaded up as well. But for right now, man, let's just enjoy the ride when it's here. It's AMD. It's a roller coaster, not me. The market flushing down here, and we say see you later to Advanced Micro Devices once again. We pick on the weak name today. It was weaker. It's down. And this is honestly one of my better calls here today. We had the Microsoft breakdown, remember, as well. Maybe that's something to look at. Look at this trade, and this is the one I was talking to Fahad about earlier. This 247 broke. Bang! Look at these outs, 246. Then we have that very bottom of the day. No idea about that one. We were live on the air, and I got mad at myself right there for missing this bottom. And I just said, you know what? I'm going to put another bid at the very low of the day. So Microsoft, one trade today, like a sniper, bang this one out. So hopefully we'll be able to watch where we go from here. But now Microsoft, big dump off there as well. And I feel like it's a little silly, just like.
By the way, if very quickly here, I'm going to ring the register on a firm, but
That's
I'll
what
show
I was
you why.
gonna do.
150,000 shares on the bid at 18 even. If I see even dollar prices getting held on a day like today, I'm just like, when I'm trying to be nimble, I'm just going to kind of respect it and then just get the heck out of Dodge, right? Like, it's already showing signs of strength enough. You go to the well, it's going to make a move off of 1850 here. So playing it back to 18 is plenty good. Maybe it chews through and goes to VWAP. I don't know. But I just tried to get Tesla through 650. I did miss it the first time, and now you're seeing it really start to flush. The other stock coming down to a key level, rightfully pointed out, Ryan Hines, I believe it was, just yeah, I checked the chat. I saw it. Hopefully, I got your name right there. I think it was Ryan Hines talking about 105 on Amazon. That's a little. If you had this already in this consolidation breaking down, that makes some sense. But I don't like necessarily just punching short at a level like this when you've already had a couple of capitulation candles. It just feels like you're hitting it a little bit too low. So I'm staying away from it personally. I wish I'd had this around 106. Obviously Alibaba, which I should probably go ahead and cancel my offer now in Alibaba. Oh, maybe not. Yeah, I mean, this is like when I'm like, I should just get Bob on any kind of a pop and then look at it just go fart down like 50 cents instantly when you could have just taken it at that same price right away and been in the money. I decided to wait. I'm still going to be patient with this name, but Baba giving it up. Everything's starting to roll over here, but I just got out of my last short, of course.
All right, let's go. Here comes a bus. Let's catch our shorts. Get in there. Get on that bus right now. It's running away from us here. But I don't want to say great minds think alike because Neil is one, not me. But I did the same thing as Neil did just there. AMD was bouncing, and it's literally like you kind of stepped in to tell people about Baba, and I was going to say the exact same thing on my account here, and that was this. Just trying to respect, again, these even dollar levels. And, I mean, AMD, we shorted 82, so let's get a little piece out again there at 81. Just in case 81 wants to bounce around a little bit. I don't think it's going to, which means it's just, part of it is just the discipline. Like, it's not, this is what I need to do better on is like, sort of don't see these things. Like, it's almost better sometimes to like have seen something and then like almost be like a virgin to the trading, if you know what I mean. Like, some people YOLO, like, see, if costing yourselves a little bit of money because we've seen the reversals is what I'm getting at. Like, we've seen everything in this market. So sometimes it is true, man. It's like we get out a little too early. We see some profit. We've seen this reversal all the time. We're literally trading with you guys 6 hours 5.5 hours a day, Neil and I. So, you know that our eyes are always on these markets and always watching everything. So, sometimes you get a little hasty with the outs. Sometimes you hold on too long. Sometimes you get out too quick. But, like right there, I was just sort of kicking myself. And this is what I'm talking about. When you're in front of a live level 2, you see everything, man. Tape don't lie. So when you're sitting here watching these level 2s, it's like, yeah, I was just mad getting out at, not mad, but I was just like, ah, man, wish I didn't get out at 81.10. Well, now it's at 81.20, so looked pretty good. Looked bad when it broke 80s, but there it is now again. So back and forth, little push and pull, as they say in the markets. But right now, we are looking to see where this imbalance is going to come out at. It's already 320. It's quad witching. Whenever you're ready, I mean, Lucas, when you're ready, not now. But we can even pan the floor. They're going to be all at their desks.
Oh, yeah.
Things like that. Don't worry about it, Lucas. I know
the funny thing that always happens.
There now.
We used to do a thing. I used to sit on the bridge when you're risk managing, and everyone's so geared up for the final 20 minutes or so that in the last hour, the sheer number of bathroom breaks that happen.
Oh, that's what I was gonna say.
Everyone just gets up and they're like, it's like, oh yeah, you have to go 3 times in an hour because you don't want to have it happen to you at 3:40. Oh my God, I gotta get up. So the string of people, you see the same person go 2 or 3 times. It's just everyone's kind of geared up for that. I want to get to Revlon. I did get Alibaba. Chased it a little bit here to the 105.50 area, but Revlon got down to 408. I was looking for $4. When you're scalping something like this, you're really not longing 8, 9, and 10 off of 4. I really want 3, 4s, and 5s, so I might have missed that trade, but I'm not chasing this. I kind of gave the explanation that I didn't feel like we were going to push back to the high of the day, so I wanted to take one shot at it in front of 4, because I think the risk might be that it pulls back into VWAP or 350 and has that violent spike down. It's up 114%. I think some people are going to start taking some profit on this. It might not be done because the squeezes can last, but that doesn't mean it's just only going up forever, right? So I might be done trading Revlon. Maybe it pushes down to VWAP and there's a deeper long, but that 4, if you took it at 410, it gave you the scalp trade. I wanted it tighter to that support level. And it looks like it was a good out in the firm because it's bounced off 18. As I said, I got into Baba on this last little curl. I think I just want to be playing the trend overall. At least what feels like the trend to the downside recently here. So, Baba did that move off 104. Everyone was saying, 104 is a good area. I chose that area to get out of the long. Probably should have immediately reversed there, but congratulations anyone that has it. I'm not sure we get back to the lows, but heck, I'll take, a break of 103, starting to get down to that 102 half area. That would be perfectly fine by me. With 40 minutes to go, when the fireworks are going to open up here, and we don't know where the strength or weakness is going to be. Just remember, this morning, the biggest imbalances were energy. The biggest prints came in big tech in terms of volume, like Apple and Amazon, but the actual biggest imbalances going into it were actually in the energy names, which shouldn't surprise anybody.
Just checking, and I think, energy today down 6%, sorry. It's had rallied back a little bit, but this is extremely light volume. Remember, we're closed on the floor trading here for oil, so big move back down, man, which is great for all of us commuters. You get to load up your car a little bit this weekend, I'm sure, that we're going to be, I heard, again, sub $2 finally, for the first time since May. Here in Ontario. So, I mean, sub $2. It's 3.9 liters, 3.79 liters in a gallon. So just to let you know the kind of, stuff we're dealing with around here. And we're supposed to have a lot of energy in this country. So thanks, government.
You think
for that
it'd be
one.
better here, right?
You think it would be, but it is not. I heard Joe Biden was debating gas rebate cards. I mean, that doesn't help inflation. He's going to give people more money to go out and buy some gas, but whatever. If that's what works, that's what works. I'm not a policy guy, so good job on that one. If they get it done, I guess. All right, there we go. AMD, we talked about that one again, where we like to see this. We did get some out. We only have 10% left. We talked about that. Now retracing back up. Look at the S&P, the NASDAQ starting to catch a bid here as we head into that rebound. So a nice little upside move there. Don't really know what to think of that, to be quite honest with you, but I still feel like it's a decent sell opportunity. So with that being said, what about a little AMD reload on the short right now? Again, we could get blown out back through 82, but let's get a little bit closer. If AMD can get back up to like 81.70 or something, I think we'll put on, I just put an offer in. If we can get back up to this 50 period, then we'll short it right around there. So you're at VWAP now, which normally I would short. It's just, this is a different market condition right now. You see it's coming back up. Do I think the NASDAQ takes out the high? It could, right? And then I have to get out at 82. So yeah, let's just see what happens. If these imbalances come as a buy, then this trade is finished. So yeah, let's just see what happens around that 50 period and trade it from there. But right now, so far so good, I would say, for anybody sort of just waiting on 350. I feel like it's pretty choppy right now, so kind of like buckle up a little bit, but this is going to be a great close. So hopefully you'll be here with us. We'll show the imbalance locator, which is right here. There's nothing on it right now. Obviously, these are all 3 o'clock. We're waiting for 350 and not ARCA. We're looking for NYSE and NASDAQ. So get ready for that. Only now, 20 minutes away about. It's 350, but we'll start getting geared up for that in about 20.
So I'm going to hit this one.
Yep.
It's a trap. It's a trap. And this is what, like, every single trade, not every trade, but like keep it tight to the vest, because everything is going to set up and look like it's golden and then be a trap. Like, it looked like we were rolling over in Amazon, and someone was asking about Amazon shorts at 105. Like, it just wicked bottom off that level and then just snapped right back to the upside. And you talk about that, or maybe go over to Tesla. Like, remember Tesla through 650 giving up that level? Okay, congratulations. They went $2, based out, and made a real wick high back up to like 654. Like, this is the whipsaw action you're seeing. So either you have something which has had a trend, or you feel is relatively weak or strong that you can dig into, and you know where your out is going to be. Hopefully that's BABA, and maybe it should have still been a firm. We'll check that back in on that in a second. Or you should just be very, very patient. Allow this to decide what it wants to do. Like, the battle that's happening over in the market here is you're grinding higher on the NASDAQ, but if you zoom in on it, this is a 60-minute to keep perspective. Like, it's just, like, it's trending to the upside, very, very slowly. If you slowly look at what's going on, you have a bit of a trend to the upside. It just did a crazy pullback and then wicked back to the top. And then the battle in the ES is this huge 3,700 level on the ES has just been all kinds of resistance. It cannot hold above 3,700. So you have this like relative strength in the NASDAQ trying to hold a trend, and then you have the ES saying no moss at 3,700. So you get this push and pull mentality back and forth, and then you have individual names which are kind of trading on their own thing, and then also sort of trying to follow the market. So you're getting crazy whipsaw action here. But I want to see is clear one way or the other. We get to like 37.20 or something on the ES, or 15 or 20, then you could really start going to the upside. If the NASDAQ breaks the high at 11.4, then you could really start going to the upside. Otherwise, you want to be very, very nimble here, because we're not really picking a direction. I mean, Tesla at 650, you'd just be getting chopped out back and forth over and over and over again here, and I don't see any reason to do that. I said I'd check back in on a firm. Yeah, I mean, that was all kinds of the reason. A lot of times you don't care about big, like, 10 million shares it's done on the day. Do you care about 150,000? Not always. But it bounced off that level, and look, it's right back at the highs. If I wanted back in, I'm 10, 15 cents away from getting the exact same price we were short. And I could be sitting here cursing the fact that it bounced off that, or you can just get out, accept the fact that that bid is there, and then move on to the next trade.
Shout out to Hydration Nation. Anyone drinking water, you are an official member of that. We'll hit new siren alert here because we are in another trade right now, and it's Meta. So we're going to go short on Meta here. I want to be short some of these tech names heading into this number. I mean, I've sort of said that here. So we'll get some. So now I'm short in the 20s here, 27. I'm going to get something in the 60s, then I want to get something in the 80s, and then if it takes out 164, well, we can get out of this one. These aren't heavy positions because, again, it's pretty violent right now. I think it's crazy to like risk your day or anything like that right now with this number coming through. So we'll watch out for Meta. It's basically the market today. So instead of shorting something like a TQQ or whatever, let's just see what Meta wants to do. Like, the good thing about trading individual names, and again, hopefully we'll get an update. I don't know which way it is yet. Hopefully we can get that update. If it is a short, then I feel like it'll be led by these NASDAQ names that have been getting crushed. So that's kind of the logic. And on that note, there's the reload right now on AMD. So AMD was a great short for me. We cashed out a lot on this one. I mean, we kept ringing the register all the way down, and then I second-guessed myself at 81.10, and then I was like, you know what? This is what experience is all about. This is why we're here. So yeah, there it is, man. AMD, a takedown of 82, and we're gone. Like, I don't want to be in these names if I'm guessing wrong. And I feel like at this point, man, it really is just a guess which way these markets are going to come through this afternoon. So let's just relax a bit. Like, we know our positions. AMD, we're short now. We just got more short on Meta. So right now we'll watch out for some of these highs, and we'll see if we can play off of them. So right now, let's see if the NASDAQ wants to take that out. If it does, we'll be gone, and then we'll reevaluate as we get closer. But right now, short Meta and short AMD at these levels. So we have two on. You can see them right there on the channel. Hopefully they work out for us. But I like it, and the reasoning, again, hopefully it's these stocks that bring us out into this imbalance. Mr. Wickens.
On that, Meta, guys, this just out. Mark Zuckerberg saying the company going to launch a clothing store for avatars. Side note, but on Meta.
Like,
Well, that's not actually that.
Why, when I get in, does a stupid random story come out like that? Like, what?
But is
what
that
kind
really
of
rocket
clothing
science?
store?
No, but if you're going to be in the metaverse with your avatar, of course you're going to have things that you, like, I kind of think that's low-hanging fruit.
No, it is. But
if
like,
you weren't doing that,
is
that'd
that
be
all? Is that all they
ridiculous.
got?
But so just on your point there, I didn't get into the NEO trade, but I was just talking about being patient, let things come to you. Like, yeah, I could have shorted NEO when the market was coming down. It made a huge high. But why do it when it's at 70? Just wait for it to get to the high. It's super strong, man. Like, wait for your price. If it's a strong stock and you want to short the high of the day, just wait at the high of the day. You know, the top is like 2088 here. I was able to just get in there at 83s. Well, okay, I took some shares at 82 and some at 84, so my average price is 83. But anyways, same thing. Like, you wait for the actual top to come in, and now if it breaks the high, okay, fine. Like, it's a little bit less risk because it's a super strong stock. Now, I get into a BABA earlier because that thing has been, you know, a heaping pile of dung pretty much most of the day, so it's been relatively weak, but something super strong, just let it come to you. Obviously, I guess we both kind of think that overall the market feels like it's gotten to a top, and therefore playing off the resistance makes a little bit more sense to me for the imbalances. At least you have a better idea where you're wrong in that particular case, which sometimes is the best way to structure a trade. Now, even when you're trending up, if you can't figure out where you're wrong in a long, I don't know how you put the trade on. So sometimes it's just easier to get that other direction. But we do have 20 minutes to go. We're going to get that early.
It's too early. This is too early.
It is too early to start thinking about it. But if the early look is ridiculous one way or the other, I might decide to cover. Like, if our early look from Financial Juice is like a few billion to buy, I don't need to be sitting in Alibaba and NEO shorts in the face of that. I can get out and start looking for some long trades.
Yeah, I was more thinking that I'm a little too early into these shorts for AMD and Meta. Like, you just said there's 20 minutes to go, and I was like, oh yeah, that's right. There's still 20 minutes to go on this one. But look, I agree with everybody. Like, what is Zuckerberg even doing right now? They lost, oopsies, they lost $10 billion on the metaverse last round there. And now all they're coming up with is, hey guys, let's like get some cool like little dresses and stuff like that that people could wear. I feel like that's a little bit offside there. And, you know, we'll see where it goes. Obviously, I'm short the name. That has nothing to do with that, my take on that. It's just like, that does seem a little funny there for you, Mr. Zuckerberg, even for you, I should say.
Avatar's got to be dressed too.
Well, but there's someone put in the thing there was like, yeah, Sims was created a while ago. And I feel like, yeah, that's right, man. Like, that's what Sims is. You could dress your guys up. They can, like, you know, wear cool clothes and whatever. But whatever. I just feel like that's what they've come up with. Let's see where the metaverse goes. If anything, this maybe, you know, justifies, you know, some of the shorts on Meta, because like, you got to come up with something a little better than that. Here we come to the downside now, Meta. We didn't get that very much. We didn't get that reloaded there, but so far so good on the AMD reload. Now a dime in the money. Now 20 cents in the money on that one. So we'll hold hold the AMD short, we'll hold the Meta short, and see where we can go. So right now, that's what I'm looking at. I'm staring those names in the face, and hopefully we can come back down. You know the logic, so I'm going with that. Meta, AMD, all this stuff. We just bounced off VWAP though here for AMD.
Yeah, just able to get some out there, and the roller coaster ride in this market, like as strong as Neo just looked, like it got to the high of the day, and then just boom, it just immediately flushes, guys. So able to get some out in the 70s. I'll get more out in the 60s. I'm trading a strong stock here, so yes, I do believe we can flush, but let's be real. 15 minutes to imbalances. So the early look from Financial Juice is 3.1 billion to the sell side. So for what it's worth, the early indication is 3 billion. Usually at this time of day, what are we talking about? We're throwing a number at you like 700, 400, whatever it is. So right now it looks like it's going to be 3 billion. I just got another leg out, so we'll do that for the short trades, at least for now, because hey, a lot of things can change from now till 350. I'll tell you that much.
Like Little Wayne says, a milli, a billy right here today. So we'll watch out for that. But yeah, man, here we go again. Nice little downside move for AMD. We did take some out at 55 there, which is at VWAP. So volume weighted average price. I said value again. When we first started those videos,
how many takes we had to do?
I messed, no, one. It was just one.
Oh, was it? On the take. Oh,
yeah,
you can still watch it. I get it.
So we used to say, I said one time value and it's volume. But there it is. It comes right back down. It's not that respecting that level. It's just like, that's a big number there, that billion, right? So let's see where we go with that. Like I said, I feel like we may be a little bit early on this call, but we are shorting these tech names. Quickly, if you guys want to see anything, let's check out what Revlon's been up to here. Probably been up to not much other than going up, but there it is. It pulls back down in now. So 470 that high. We did a little bit of work on that. Remember I said maybe on Monday or so, well, you might be able to get that 5. Well, it came right to 473. So I am glad that we discussed that. I don't know if anybody took the short or you got out of your long there, but I feel like this could still go on Monday. I mean, you just get some of that news there out of India that maybe they are serious about helping this get some financing, and then this thing comes back to life here, because Revlon was just $15 at the beginning of the year, went down to $1 there. There must be some assets there. It's the name, I guess. You know, they have that sort of iconic feel about them, Revlon, like to me anyways, I don't know. I just remember all those ads, and was Cindy Crawford or something like that there for Revlon. That's a name that's a name I haven't heard in a while. Someone put it there in the chat about Cindy Crawford, so that's what made me think about it. But Brendan's got something else.
A rather large bid on a firm right now, guys, sitting on the NSB at 18, worth a look.
Okay, are you on a firm, aren't you?
No. Look, man, that's the reason I got out. So this is the thing about a day like today. When you see size, it's better to assume it's real when you get a witching day, right? Like it's just not. Sometimes it'll be fake and person will pull the order and they're not really going to get filled. One of the tricks they'll do is they'll have a gigantic bid and then you'll have like smaller bids in front of it. And then once those get filled, it's like auto cancel on the other ones, right? So they can't actually fill that because once the first one's hit, it cancels the other ones below. And it's a trick that people will use to manipulate the markets. But one other thing is we're not even at 1,000 likes here. And I'm going to do something which I've talked about this. I've said it several times. To make a trade, you got to be willing to miss the trade. So I'm going to show you. Yesterday, all I was talking about was how strong Boeing was. And I wanted to long off Boeing this morning. I did get it, and I was in it twice. But this is me making the absolute bottom on the stock that I love the most and telling you I had to stop at the low of the day and then watching it just rally. You're not going to find a more embarrassing chart than that. Trust me. Because if there weren't very many longs I liked, but this was one of them. Not a single entry back in, not a breakout trade, not a dip buy, just abject failure in not being able to get that bottom. But the truth of the matter is, if you make a wick top or a wick bottom for whatever reason, don't just sit there saying to yourself, oh my goodness, that is the dumbest trade I could have possibly made. Look how stupid I was, blah, 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 blah. There's no chance you make a wick top or bottom if something about where you decided to execute and make a big decision wasn't incredibly right. So you had the level right. And then all you got to figure out is how you can execute it the next time a little bit better. Did you need to give it a little bit more room? Should you have had an area stop? Should you have been willing to have a wick bottom and then just jump right back into the trade and then risk to the previous low? These are all things you should be asking yourself instead of crying over spilt milk that this happened to you. So I always say this, there is no chance that you make a wick top or bottom unless something about your trade plan went incredibly right. So always make sure that's the first thing you analyze, because that's where your biggest potential is going to be, is playing off something like that into the future. And a lot of times what I would do is jump right back in saying, oh, it's rejecting that low break, next consolidation, you jump back into the trade. For the shorts, you see me do it all the time. I didn't do it on BABA, but I'm letting you guys know, do not ignore those. It's so easy to just get mad at yourself when you're missing out on a big opportunity to learn.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, and we did the same thing today, man. We got hit on BABA, but I did that same thing that Ian did there on BABA there, and came back in and just started to, to make a little bit of damage there on that stock. So yeah, you got to watch out for some of those. I mean, it's just like on AMD today, saying, whoa, that's my 1 day. We don't need that. We need the 1 minute chart here just to show you. We started with the longs, right? Long there, good call, and then we just basically flipped over into the short. So sometimes, yeah, your opinions change, like day to day, minute to minute, second to second sometimes around here anyways. All right, so here it comes back in short 81.70 on AMD. Let's see, we took another piece out here at 60. Really silly, like I want to be able to hold this, and I think I can, but I don't know, like if it comes in, great. We're already talking about these nervousness moments here. We're getting a little jittery because of that. It's $3.1 billion to sell. I'm excited for it. I hope you guys are as well. And you can see right now, Meta pretty excited about it. As this is coming to the downside, we're short at 45 right now. I was waiting in the teens. Let's just put one at 20 right there and get out for a piece of this at 163.20. And then we'll hold out for some of these bottoms in case this is that nightmare flush here. Because if you come out if it's indicating right now $3 billion to sell, I feel like it's going to come a hell of a lot more than that. Like, I don't even feel like that's it. So
yeah, usually that's
like we get it, and then it comes out, and then Brendan's like, or whoever's like, oh my God, guys, it's like $7 billion to sell or whatever. So I'm hoping that it can come out something like that. Don't hold me to any of these numbers, but if it can come to the downside, that'd be pretty sweet for us. So we're going to hold on to AMD and to Meta, and this is the imbalances that we're talking about. You can see all from 930. So we'll wait at 350. These are going to load up, and you're going to trust me, see fireworks in this marketplace.
Yeah, it's like I just joke to myself, like, I should have gone to the bathroom. Like it's that whole like.
Yep.
It's what's weird.
There's Facebook.
Is we've been doing the show for a while, but like I'm so accustomed to the muscle memory. No. I'm in a couple of trades, but it's one of those things where I'm just accustomed to it. Like it's part of the routine for years and years, where you're back and forth. It actually keeps you calm too, because then you're not forcing trades here. I did take some of Alibaba out just because. Look, on that early look, you're finding support at 103. Now, yes, I was bidding thinking we're going down to 102.50, and I still think we have that chance. But for whatever reason, this is deciding to continue to put in higher lows, right? It's showing some signs of strength. And obviously at 350, a lot can change. But if it's showing me signs of not wanting to roll over, I kind of felt we'd be falling down a little bit more than we are right now, with only 10 minutes till 350 when these go public. So taking some profit out and not just sitting exposed to those shorts, because you can always react as well, right? Like keep in mind, you can react at 350. You don't have to be sitting in something making a guess. You can always make that trade after the fact.
Thank you so much for the super chat there, Trader84. Did I get that right? Yeah, Trader84. I've been trading F for several months. Yeah, I mean, with good results, what stock should I consider to improve my intraday trading skills? I've been trading Ford for several months with good results. Then I have an advice for you. Trade Ford more, because wherever you have your advice, I kind of say that tongue in cheek, but I kind of mean that honestly. A stock similar to Ford, look, I think if you want to like sort of ramp up your game a little bit, I would look at honestly, and you see me trade it all the time. I think AMD is actually a decent beginner stock, and I'll tell you why. It has so many moves to it. It tends to hold key levels. There's always something going on. You can watch NVIDIA. You can watch the SMH with it, various other names. So I would say, look, jumping from Ford to AMD is a big boy jump, I feel like. But again, it doesn't really matter what you trade. My advice to you, Trader84, would almost be the opposite, like what I said the first place there. Don't jump anywhere, man. Just stay with Ford.
Ford is so good
like stay with
liquidity.
Ford and up your shares would be my suggestion. If you want to stay something that's similar to Ford, and again, I don't know if you're using technicals or whatever you're using, but if you have a good read on the automotive sector, maybe then swing over to GM. I mean, GM and Ford obviously going to have similar moves on the day. You know, when there's news about them, they'll move individually. But I think that could be another thing. I don't know. You have any other names? I mean, maybe SoFi, but I mean, Ford is.
I can't. All I look at.
I would
is,
just
man,
say stay in your lane.
I'm telling you right now, I don't trade Ford well, so this is maybe a little bit of me talking. Where every time I like the stock, I can't seem to make it work, and everybody's different.
Yeah.
Like NIO, I do better on NIO for whatever reason, and that can be crazy. There's unlimited liquidity in Ford.
NIO might be a good one.
NIO might be a good one.
NIO
but
might be a
when
good
I say
one for
unlimited liquidity, it's just the ability to, and what I mean by that is, to the extent that your strategy works, usually the only limitation for how you can trade something like a Ford is your bankroll and your risk limit. Because for most traders, you're just going to be able to get as many shares as you want at any particular time. And when you find, if you're good at a stock like that, that's just an unbelievable thing, because I'm telling you, like, that's a hard stock to manage sometimes because of all of that liquidity. So, I mean, I think that's amazing. Congratulations to you. Sean's right about GM and AMD. NIO makes a lot of sense to me because sometimes it just gets you a little bit more volatility and bigger moves in a similar type of name. Yep. So maybe jump over to that, maybe stick in the space and go to an EV name. But yeah, congratulations that you're able to master something like this, like a Ford, which is not an easy stock to trade. I can tell you that right now. Like, I don't think, I'll go out on a limb, maybe there's one or two people. I know Sean trades it well. I don't know a lot of people that actually trade this successfully on a prop floor, to be honest with you.
Yeah. I mean, I like Ford. Ford's a good name, but I do like the NIO recommendation in this as well. Okay, so we did get out some meta. We talked about that. It's just dancing around. Now with only 7 minutes to go, if anybody, there's another update there. Brendan, 3.4 now to sell, so it is getting juicier to the downside as well. So, I mean, this is going to be a very, very interesting play here, I feel like, and we just want to hold on. So just so you guys know, I have lower bids kind of scattered in here in case we do make a move down, some in the 30s, and I'm just going to put another one here in the teens. I have one in the 20s, and then we'll have one in the teens as well. 81, let's call it 17. We'll see if that can fill out there. Down. The reason why 17, you know who, when I mentioned about going to the Blue Jays game there, Justin said he has a certain signed hat from a player. Do you know the most famous Blue Jay to ever wear number 17?
Was Gruber 17?
It was Kelly Gruber. So as soon as he said he had that hat, I'm like, Kelly Gruber, why? That's my mother, what used to be my mother's favorite player there. So shout out to her.
A lot
of people like Kelly Gruber, yeah. So
not that he's watching,
he had
but
that
like,
blonde, flowy hair and everything like that. So I see what you're doing, my mother, now that I'm older.
People talk about like old school and like a player that hustles or like a player that just like gives 100%. I'll tell you this right now. Like,
you remember when he got that on his nose or his chin
Kelly
when he dove
Gruber played
in?
all out all the time. And the truth be told, like maybe if he didn't play out all out, maybe he would have been a little bit better. But yeah, an MVP type year. I mean, just an absolute Blue Jays legend. But that guy left it on the field big time. He was an all-star. He had a year where he had 31 bombs. I think he dropped 117 ribbies.
But he did win a World Series, didn't he?
He was with us.
Yeah. He got the 92. That's when he dove into home plate there and got his face smashed up. So shout out to you, KG.
He's a gamer, man.
The real KG, not Kevin Garnett. Kelly Gruber there. Prad's looking at me like, huh? I know nothing about.
You don't know anything about
Kelly Gruber.
You can literally fly.
You can fly. Maybe we got to get on our Ali G's here because into the close we want to see a little more clearly. I got some. I got some fingerprints on these bad boys here.
That's more clearly you're going to see out of those? You sure about that?
Yeah, well, it takes away the blue light a little bit. But yeah, you know what? Let's. Yeah, I'm not taking any risks because if I screw up, I'm going to be blaming those right there. But there we go. We don't have to use that napkin. No waste here. But all right, so let's go, man.
Market's starting to come down.
Yeah, of course it is. Here's a nice little downside move for AMD, man. We just took it. I told you we were littered. There's a 40 print. We got one in the third. Well, actually, I'm going to cancel my 30s. I think we go lower. We got a 25 print coming. Then we got a Kelly Gruber coming down here at 81.17. And we're short into this number. So let's go. Hopefully, we can get some money out of this trade here today. Into the short, into the future. And into this rebalance, which is now, Neil, a whopping 6 minutes away.
Yeah, I'm starting to. I mean,
and by that I mean 4 minutes.
Here. Yeah, I'm going to cancel. So I had some stops that are still out there that had no business still being out to the market that I don't need. I'm just in BABA on NEO as well. I'm going to have stink bids just in case we get like a huge flush. We're still indicating about the same size imbalance. I am watching the futures as well, making a big leg to the downside there. The ES now, it just hit 3680. So running away from that 3700 on the ES. Individually, I mean, the stocks that I'm holding, I'll watch for big imbalances. I'd expect something big out of Apple. Right, and then some of the energy names, we're expecting to see some big numbers from some of the energy names as well. So should be pretty interesting here with only 3 minutes to go. We will show them right away. We'll do our absolute best. If you throw a symbol, we do want to be able to tell you, okay, the imbalance on this stock is X or Y, but we're only human. We can only move as fast as possible, and we can't possibly catch them all. People talk about Fred McGriff, Freddie Mac.
Oh, I like the crime dog.
Crime dog.
The crime dog, Fred McGriff in the building, yeah.
First Blue Jay rookie to hit 20 bombs. Hit
love
20 bombs in a half season as a rookie. He's a beast.
He's a beast. I love Fred McGriff, man. Yeah.
Also, the trade, which got us a World Series, but it kind of cut both ways.
Yeah, Tony Fernandez there going over, Robbie Alomar coming through, and Joe Carter, man. The home run. I remember when he hit that home run, man, we were running around the streets of
Still haven't seen it clear the fence.
Brampton there. What? Yeah, me and my brother were running around hitting pots and pans everywhere.
Yeah, it was
Our
awesome,
neighbors must have thought that we were insane at that time.
Everyone was
But I
doing
brought
that.
when the Raptors won, man. Me and my boy at that point, I think he was maybe 7 or 8. We were outside, and he was half naked. It was late at night. He was running around doing that crazy stuff for the
Fucking
Raptors.
naked.
Okay, so here we go. I'm in the TQQs right now. So we'll rate here that high. I'll just hold it against this, 2305. So let's average in. Look, if you want to dance market, let's dance. Because honestly, let's see where we go on this. This is a big event. So if it's going to be $3 billion to sell, we'll see about that going on the outside. Happy Father's Day to you too, Chris L. Member for 15 months. Shout out to you. As we only have a couple more minutes, I'll show you quickly. There he is, Chris L. Thank you so much for that membership again. $5 a month. Support the channel. We'll try to shout you guys out as much as we can. Shout out to Bears vs. Bulls. Happy Father's Day to you too, and everybody here that is part of our Trader TV Live family, man. Let's just keep it real and keep trading.
Yeah, absolutely. And that was a little bit of a note to Bernie Mac for anyone that didn't get that, man. I'm a huge Mac fan.
Mr. 3000 there?
Yeah, Mr. 3000. He was just an absolute legend. Let him rest in peace. I forget the name. The movie is sort of slipping my mind on the spot there. So I'm going to I'm in Alibaba, but I'm going to go to Apple because remember yesterday there was fireworks on Apple and we had that big imbalance. We're expecting a sell from it. That's the anticipation. So I'm going to have it on this. I'll have the imbalances when they do come in 90 seconds just to make sure that whether it's Sean or myself, we'll get them right quick to you guys. So just make sure I'm sliding over, and I got to get myself set up here in real time. There's my bounce locator, nice and big, sorted by size so we can see. Early on, you're not going to really see much of anything here because you have the ones from the morning. But in about 1 minute, I'm expecting that board to get very lit.
Yeah, you're going to see some stuff here coming up right now. So we are average into the TQQ. I still don't even have a full position. If we get into the 90s here, just on a little bit of a rip up, we will have that. We're going to get out at a 23.10 break or so upside on the TQQ as we are, guys, getting ready to rock and roll. So like Neil said, let me call up that imbalance locator. Both of us will have this locked and loaded right here. So we'll keep it on right here. We'll be able to see the NASDAQ dance as well here. So as this comes out, we are expecting some fireworks. Obviously, there goes AMD to the downside. Let's just print this out, man. We do have our Meta, we have AMD, and we have TQQ all to the sell side. So if this comes buy side here, I will take a little bit of a hit naturally coming into that. So we'll see. They're decent sized positions, but they're not huge. We're definitely not going to lose our whole day on this, but here we go, coming in right now with only 15 left to go. It's 15 seconds. It's the biggest day of the year so far, and it is your June rebalances coming out right now in 5, 4, let's just watch it, 2 and 1. Watch out for this market. Here we go right now. Okay, all right, so what just happened there? Meta blew up to the upside for some reason there, so that must be a big bid. So we're gonna have to get out of the way on Meta as we are long now Meta, so we'll get out of that one.
I see BAC is a big sell,
Yeah, go ahead,
BMY
yeah.
is a buy.
I gotta deal with
Apple
this.
is $3 million to sell on Apple.
Okay.
Merck's a $3 million buy. XOM Energy, $3 million sell on XOM. Pfizer, $2.7 million. Snapchat, that's actually kind of big. Snapchat at 2.6 million buy imbalance.
So that one
is a pretty large one. It's actually not that gigantic overall. However, some individual names are going to stand out there that we should pay attention to. Under Armour, 5 million sell. That's a big, big sell for something like an Under Armour. You guys are asking some individual names. I'm going to do my best because when I do an individual one, I kind of have to sort it. I am in a short in the futures, which is printing, so I think it's okay. But I wanted to get Tesla here. Sorry, guys, I have to actually scroll to find Tesla. Tesla usually has small imbalances, but I do want to get that one for you.
Honestly.
I went too far there. Tesla, where are you, Tesla?
I'm a little disappointed with all of this.
32,000 shares to buy on Tesla.
Look at the paired. Show them the paired.
It's a 1.4 million paired off, but it's totally paired off on Tesla. Very small buy and bounce, very small buy and bounce on Tesla. DraftKings, I'll try to get to DraftKings in a second. I just got to cover my futures position because
do it. I got this. So. Okay. So disappointing for me there. Nothing really moved, man. I mean, the TQQs were literally flat. Like it's not doing anything right now. Hopefully, I'll hold it till it takes this out. I mean. It's not doing much. You know what? Just because of that, just because that comment right there that I just made, I think I'm going to get out a piece right now. If we can, there we go. We just got some out at 75, 75 there. So we'll wait now. We're short 76. We don't have a huge position on it. It didn't even fill my offer up here at 90. So that's like how lack of dramatics was for that. Unfortunately, though, Meta must have come out. Again, the damage is pretty light on this one. I actually wound up making like 10 or 20 cents on the bid. But I wish we still had this. Our average price was right here at 60. We did get taken out at 64 when that went upside, so that kind of blew up there, but that's not the big position. We're actually going to be net flat on this because AMD actually fell in a little bit. So AMD down to 40s. We're short at 70s.
Just a couple big ones here. Amazon, someone asked Amazon, 1.6 million to buy on Amazon. 11.7 paired off already. On DraftKings was asked 820,000 to the sell side on DraftKings. Amazon with a big bid there. Someone just mentioned something about a firm that had that big buy and bounce. Oh my goodness. Remember the 18 bid on a firm? It just bounced off that like 3 times. So that big buyer, that mattered all right. So I'm guessing it was a buy and balance and that buyer was just getting out in front of it maybe?
The problem is I don't know my alphabet very good. So H-I-J-K,
I do the same thing under pressure. It's like
L-M-N-O. I'm looking for Google. Someone asked about Google, so I want to look at Google for you guys right here. So here's Googs. This is the thing. Look, one is a buy, one is a sell. So the different classes there. So no action on that. Anything else you guys want?
Someone said Palantir. I'm trying to find it.
Yeah, Palantir is going to be nothing. Did you already do NEO?
I didn't get NEO.
Okay, quickly on NIO. The market's not doing anything. You can see the NASDAQ here. So we're kind of both doing this, obviously, for you guys, but there's just so many names on here.
Palantir.
Go ahead,
Literally nothing. Oh, no, sorry.
Here's
no.
I have NEO.
Palantir, 2.2 million to buy. I mixed it up with Plug.
Oh, that's
2.2 million to buy on Palantir. So that is actually pretty sized.
NEO right here, 1.5 to paired off. So NEO was 2 million to buy at one point. Now it's only 400,000. You could see, look at that. Look at that buy imbalance. Look at the effect it's having. So the market, again, doing absolutely nothing down here. It was 1.36, remember? I go, the NASDAQ is 1.36. Let's see what happens. 5 minutes later, it's 1.36. But look at NIO. Good call, whoever that was. NIO with the bid. Here's 350 right here. So NEO goes up about 20 pennies, retracing right back to the high of the day. So great call out there for NIO. And we're almost out, man, of all this. So we just took all of our outs right here in the 40s on AMD. I have less than 20% of this position left. I'm just going to make sure that all my stops are now canceled and just get out of this.
Someone asked SoFi 900,000 to sell. That's actually pretty insignificant, right? Like remember, just keep in mind, like the other thing to consider with how significant an imbalance might be would be the liquidity on the level 2 is always a pretty good hint because this will show you when you have on these bids like 50, 60,000 shares at each penny, 900,000 not that big, and it's into 4 million in volume on the day. So not that significant for something like a SoFi, but we try to get to as many as possible. Amazon, that buy and balance on Amazon, oh goodness, that's the one that made it. Why is it still SoFi? There we go. Amazon. Big, strong buy and balance. I remember Arun saying something about it. That was probably the one on that buy and balance to take a shot with. I mean, we said they weren't that big. I know we're telling you big numbers, but we say 1.15 million you know, there's just something that does that almost every single day. So as a group, it wasn't as gigantic.
Right.
But overall, some individual names. And thank you guys for pointing out Amazon. I didn't catch it, obviously, but I hope somebody did actually get some Amazon on the yell out there, because it's still running to the high of the day as we speak.
It's funny because it came out, I just saw what Brendan posted there, it came out only $2 billion to sell.
Which is smaller.
Yeah, relatively uneventful day here, unfortunately, for those imbalances, and that's exactly what I'm doing. We just got out of AMD for 5 cents, and then it didn't rip down, it went down to 81.50 there. That could have been an out for me, but we'll just hold on to this last piece. If it takes down 81.80, I think I put out there, we'll get out. That's kind of these tops right here, 81.80. So we'll take a 10-cent hit on the last little piece, but yeah, NEO doesn't stop. Great call on that one, whoever that was, man. NEO takes out the day's high and now trying to go through 21 right now. NIO, what a great bargain that was on the daily, down here at 12. Hit it once, hit it twice. Now a nice little move back up to the upside. So yeah, I'm a little disappointed, to be honest with you, on some of these imbalances. We said it was the largest day of the year, and to me, it doesn't even come close to what we witnessed on Wednesday.
No, we've seen bigger,
with the Fed. I'm just saying, the Fed alone was so exciting. That was crazy trading the Fed. Right here, the NASDAQ went up a whopping 0.2% on these rebalances. So not much to see here. Pretty much a hard pass on everything. With only 3 minutes left.
Wow. 8s unite. I don't have my key for. Oh, I just had it a second ago. We'll do this one for you. I see you guys talking about AMC. Actually, only 400,000 to buy. However, it didn't matter. Like huge bounce in there. So I don't know. Like maybe the next time we get an index rebalancing, I'll think about some names that might come to the buy side that have short interest on them, and maybe that's. I don't know if that's a thing, but it wasn't a huge imbalance, and yet it kind of made a huge move anyways. And sometimes it's about shorts having to cover too and using the liquidity event and then not really seeing much liquidity in the imbalance, and then they do it in the open market. You already talked about NEO as well, but certainly a heck of a lot of activity in individual names. The overall market didn't do a heck of a lot there at the close, but you know, Amazon, big mover there. AMC, you guys were pointing out, big mover over there as well. Alan asking about Carvana.
I'm going to give a big shout out here to the playmaker here. He says Revlon is under Cardi VWAP right there. So that was pretty close there. That was a good call there. It did go under Cardi VWAP right there for a little bit, down to 375. So, and again, thank you for watching the show, because when it was up here, we did the work, man. We went out. It's for us, it's no work, and I hope for you it's not either. We just saw that right here, Revlon did hit that key level of, came close enough to hit that key level of $5. And it's not even 5. It bounced off 490 basically the last couple of days. We got as high as today, 472. So that's not a bad short there. It's about $1 worth of a short. That's to have the very top. I think if you averaged into that price, you probably have a 60 or 70 print. So not bad if you've held it all the way to the downside. I always think that you get out on that VWAP for sure. But again, bounced off of it there, up, down again. So relatively uneventful. I hear some sighs in the background.
Well, I might have learned something here today, because I saw someone asked about Carvana. So AMC, small imbalance, 400,000 goes to the upside pretty heavily. Carvana, 700,000 buy imbalance. Those are two heavily shorted squeeze type names. Maybe the market conditions won't be right the next quarter for something along those lines, but hey, it's not a bad thesis at all, because I look at the individual names that moved, and a couple of them were just some high short interest names that might have given you some squeeze pops. You know who's going to be on the bell today. It's Friday. We're having fun. It's going to be Tony on the bell, of course. And of course, remember, it's a long weekend, so happy Juneteenth. Make sure you hug your parents, hug your father. Happy Father's Day to everybody. But we can't end it any better way than an exciting closing show to an amazing week, to an amazing year, to our main man, Tony El Tigre.
Yes.
On that bell. And I kind of feel like we did leave it on the bull today. And guess what? The market is still green today.
Is it?
Right, the ES is barely positive. So it looks like, barring some kind of a ridiculous final 15 seconds, both markets will end up in the green.
Yeah, hit the like button. Hit the like button. It's been a big show. Let's hit the like button. Let's get those likes going. With only 10 seconds left. Not only do you have to hit the like button, we got Tony the Tiger with you right now, as Neil said. So let's go with only 4, 3. He's got the Polaroid. He's got the dancing 2 and 1. Officially, my favorite segment used to be Danielle Shea every Thursday, but now my official last go is Tuesdays with Tony is my new favorite look there.
We still love Daniel O'Shea.
What a great day today for us all at the close. It was a monster close. Psych. It wasn't that good. There was a lot of volume that came out. Look at the NASDAQ, man. Witching came out at one. I mean, I'm trying to, not stealing Brendan's thunder here, but it came out at 136. We basically flat, man. So witching didn't have an effect on the major indexes at all. We did get out there at 50 on AMD, so that's good to wrap up those trades. But Brendan, let's give one last little wrap up here for the week. How did the markets end up?
Yeah, well paired when all is said and done. Kind of choppy back and forth in the last 10 minutes there, but here we go. Look at some green, which is the key here, 0.2 for the S&P, back in positive territory, the Dow negative. The Russell, brought this board up just so we can see all of the exchanges here. The Russell nicely positive on the day and not necessarily on the week. 1.4 for the NASDAQ, the composite, 1.24 for the 100. Again, all three major U.S. indexes, guys, still unfortunately lower once again on the week.
All right. Good week there. Good everything going down, man. And thanks, Brendan, for that little bit of a recap. Yeah, I got to turn off our thing because I hear it in the background. A lot of excitement there behind us. I know Brad had a couple trades coming. Some of the traders did as well. So was a good rebalance. No, not profitable? No. Okay, Prad's saying not profitable. Can we get Prad in this? I guess have his mic, I guess, but that's okay. There he is. Yo, is that orange juice? What do we got there? Mango? What is that? I can't. Exotic mango, he says there. So
that's a win.
Yeah, I love. But the thing about the mango, mango is so sweet. Is that I'm not sure about the juice, but you know what I like it in, man? The mango margaritas. There is what I'm all about. If you have a favorite margarita.
I'm not a big margarita person, but that sounds delicious.
I mean, lime, I think I like.
Yeah.
I don't like the strawberry daiquiris, things like that.
I'm a
too
mojito
sweet.
guy.
Yeah.
You're down with the mojitos, Brendan.
I was going to say the lime.
The lime is.
Yeah.
You know what? Forget about it. I'm getting some lime mix when I go home, and I might even I got to make sure I have some ice. Blend that thing up there and get ready to rock and roll.
You grow mint in the backyard too, right?
We have mint. Yeah, we have mint. I'm not a huge mint person. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. So, anyways, I don't know. All right, let's get ready to rock and roll. Thank you to everybody today. It's been a fantastic day. Thank you to my main man, Juan. Thank you to Mark. Thank you to Prad. Thank you to Lucas. Thank you to Fahad there. Yeah, if you can get that camera on all the handsome gentlemen. There they are. Hey, Juan. Hey, everybody. What's up, guys? Thank you so much for everything. Thanks to Maggie, who was off at her brother's graduation. So that's pretty awesome for Maggie and her family. Congratulations to that. What's up to Katrine? What's up to Liz? All the traders behind us. What's up to Brankles over there as well? And let's just wrap this up. Whenever Juan is standing over there, that means he has something to do. There's business, and if I don't wrap this up, I'm going to get in trouble. So let's do that right now. For everybody at the Trader TV Live family, remember, happy Juneteenth. To everybody. We are not here on Monday. Happy Father's Day to all those out there. And let's just celebrate it this weekend. Have a great time. Thank you from Trader TV Live. We'll see you on Tuesday. Ciao, guys.